It's going to be an Aram for sure 1 versus 1 in which they will be having a ban system as well and an epic phase of course for that 1 versus 1, and it's going to be a best of 1 of course, and it's the goal is to get 2 kills against your opponent. Whoever gets those 2 kills or maybe gets the first tower takedown will be the winner, and they will be able to decide which side they want to be in the first game. And now here comes the standing score. Of course, everything is just resetted here, or everyone doesn't have any points so far, but we will be seeing that coming to action as the days progress. It's like what you mentioned, it's a 2-month journey here in the regular season, and a lot of these teams actually battle against each other. So many times we can even exchange a couple of players here and there to try to improve their team. But we have seen one team actually rising towards the top and being very consistent. And
Sorry semuanya. Menang kabar semuanya. Semua kita hari ini rencananya streaming cuma santai-santai aja nih ya. Watch Party doang sih. Kenapa? Ya, itu dua final. Tahun ini yang game pertama nanti kita bakal nonton ada Nova lawan hari ini Nova lawan habis itu ada di lawan KTRY, lalu ada di lawan WBG Weibo game ya. Ini ada 2 dari tahun lalu sudah Nova Majetik, tapi ini maksudnya kita bakal nonton selama berapa hari ke depannya atau berapa minggu ke depan ini kita bakal lebih banyak nonton Cina dulu sih, karena memang apaknya masih lebih sedikit, dia cuma dapat 8 slot apa kalau nggak salah 8 slot untuk dibuat, jadi memang nanti bakal dibagi lagi. Kemarin kalau nggak salah aku lihat itu dipotong setengah dari masing-masing qualifier. Jadi Cina yang kebetulan dapat 12 tim dapat 12 slot, cuma 6 slot nanti untuk di main event. Terus dari apaknya sendiri dapat 4 tim, harusnya sih begitu, cuma nanti pemotongannya kan dari 10 nanti jadi 5, nggak ngerti. Ini udah ada yang join nama kita, WRL Indonesia, Pris boy. Kira-kira nih ini kayaknya memang ada sedikit title kayaknya dari kedua tim. Kayaknya dari Nova kayaknya belum tahu ya, aku belum enggak, karena memang nggak update banget soal tim yang di Cina, jadi mungkin ada transfer pemain yang mungkin aku kurang tahu. Kayaknya Nova kalian ada ngintip gampang. WRL season 2 berarti ini sebenarnya juga termasuk tim termasuk buat juga sebenarnya ternyata gitu. Ya, first di Snapdragon Pro Series 2022 season 2 juga dia first juga ya. Terus Huya The Legend Cup
basically like if you're watching a lot of anime,
belum lama ini
from blue lock.
masih antara 3 bulan ini, berarti mereka memang masih nunjukin giginya sih, berarti Pak masih kuat. Berarti masih termasuk baru tim baru yang masih kuat sih, karena memang masih tahu doang. Kita ngintip dulu.
In the games that they actually experienced, and well, they have battled a lot of tournaments, a lot of great teams, including Team Best Gaming, but we have still yet to see them, fully shine in their peak performance. Hopefully, in this first day, we will see it now.
Yeah, and again, remember, this team, Nova, was the champion of the Icons Global Championship last year. So this is a strong
kok nggak connect,
team.
tapi di sini mereka masih
So much to think about.
Liman sama Remix masih main.
Right now is on below against KBG during this past year, and so far I've seen during the last year, Long has always been a key player of this team. Long has always been the reason why.
Kayaknya memang sedikit perubahan sih kayaknya memang.
So that's why I
Memang nggak karena kurang jelas, kurang tahu jatuhnya. Akun ini tahun udah 2 tahun yang lalu sih. Ini kayaknya ya. Berarti ini cuma ada Sunflower sama Sosial yang berarti dibuat. Yang ganti sama Pak, memang kayaknya mereka udah ada CX jadi mereka ngambil lagi. Mereka narik di bursa transfer terakhir itu, mereka ngambil mid sama Baron. Yang Baron remake-nya mid. Jadi memang belum, karena mereka memang udah masih yakin dengan timnya ya, pasti mereka bakal stay gitu sih. Kalau kayak ubah terlalu banyak ini.
Actually learn a lot from KVG and Nova Esports. They learn a lot from this team. So I hope that this team would be able to stay on top. Because most of the time when it comes to the regular season, this is when the teams at the top struggle. They struggle because
buat info aja ya, nih yang belum tahu, kita streaming santai aja, kita nggak terlalu serius karena udah, kalau untuk caster udah ada, karena kita memang nggak, kita cuma watch party aja, kita nonton santai. Ini yang nonton nih udah sampai pada rank berapa nih kira-kira? Season udah mau dekat season akhir kan? Sampai rank berapa sih? Untuk personal sih, karena jarang main, kayak masih platinum deh. Karena memang udah nggak nyentuh sama sekali sih, memang karena mau ada kendala device, jadi belum bisa main belakangan. Nah, rank itu ya season lalu itu cuma sampai ME. Ya abis itu reset season Platinum habis itu belum ada main sama sekali. Iya, kayak cuma stay aja nih hampir 1 Valpas juga nggak ada, padahal Valpas fee-nya juga bagus ya, cuma nggak apa-apa lah. Nah, kita cari waktu lagi, kita bakal main. udah mau masuk nih. Asik.
Helping out the execution, of course, alongside the jungler, making the plays
KBG
throughout the map.
Kong
But yeah, Anna is just amazing, you know.
Nova
I want
Long
to commend the graphic team, everyone that has been a part in making this thing possible. Because
oh remake
this is a
remake
moment to remember for sure. For all
remake
these players,
kalau nggak
these,
salah
you know, coaches and managers,
yang baronnya
and everyone part of this.
ya remake mid,
Yeah.
cuma dia
And
di
this is,
Nova dipindah
really
jadi
interesting to see,
Aduh,
though.
dia mah.
KBG and Nova, we all know this teams, and look at that. These
Dan
players
Nian,
are starting
Nian,
to get closer and
Let's
closer.
go.
And
Niannya
we
mah
have
pindah ke
the coaches right here from both sides.
dia tetap
We're
di
seeing them
Baron.
actually just showing us their note. Maybe that's a death note from
It's
Isa.
Death Note.
Ya Niannya pindah ke mid, dari Baron dia pindah ke mid, remake dari mid pindah ke Dragon.
Yeah. And I
Ini yang mid.
seeing actually the confidence that we have here for all the fans
Mungkin gini
of
sih, mungkin
the
karena
MVP of last year's business.
tapi
I hope that we see a lot
stage-nya bagus
more.
banget, anjir.
This is very nice to see, right? This is very nice to see. This players just
stage-nya
parading
keren.
in front of everybody.
Depannya tuh ada logo
This is a
roll.
great time to see. I'm gonna agree with you so much on this because it gives a really nice vibe onto it. I mean, we're watching right now online. A lot of viewers are watching online, but this gives
Gila pelan-pelan kita lawan. Di Indonesia bisa kayak gitu lah.
experience.
Kayak saya.
Viewers seeing all these players match up.
Lu bisa kayak apa? Ada logo-logonya depan itu ada.
All the energy.
Jadi mereka nggak di satu kayak
For sure. And the momentum swinging towards this tournament.
pasang meja sendiri.
We do see a lot of action.
Kalau kayak gitu adep-adepan nggak gini? Nggak tawan gitu kayak. Itu kayak adep-adepan langsung cuma nutupin di daerah mejanya doang sebenarnya. Jadi kok takutnya sih komunikasinya mama nggak set, nggak salah udah set.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I think Kid Best Gaming will be okay with both sides. So I think the only thing that they would actually want is to dominate every single game that they are playing. That's KBG. No Esports. I think they would want to settle for red side in a manner to try and be able to get a good read against KBG first and what champion they are going to be prioritizing, because once you show your card a little bit, the opponent will kind of get a gaze and then be able to slowly analyze your movements, and that's the position that Nova Esports actually want to have in the series.
Yeah, and we're gonna be having our band picks for this solo games that we're gonna be having for today, which is good to see having this solo games that we're gonna be having. So one thing for sure is that we're gonna be set so far into this tournament. The longer this tournament goes, we're gonna be having a
Wah, dimulai idolaku hadir, bah.
we're gonna be having a meta, and we're gonna be having
Bang katanya pindah server banget.
gonna be bad because that's really
Dengar-dengar info katanya pindah server katanya.
gonna be winning the game on whose side they're gonna be. So it's gonna be important to set up a meta for this solo game.
Yeah, for sure we are going to see
Gimana cerita katanya mendadak hari ini pindah server,
have been really popular.
tapi masih nonton di sini bang.
Only in Wildrift, but also in League of Legends, maybe a Rift as well.
Mungkin buat kalian yang juga lagi di Bali, yang lagi gabut gabut tuh bisa kalian join. Nah, lagi pada ngumpul di Wildrift, kalau Wildrift lagi ngumpul di Ranong Cafe dari jam 5-an lah, Oktober kan jam 5-an, ntar jam ya nanti tinggal gini aja sih, nanti tinggal datang aja. Kalau mau sih datang, kalau lebih baik sih datang lebih awal biar karena sama Pak pihak panitianya di sana, biar kalian bisa pasti dihitung untuk jam. Kalau kalian mau join yang lagi di Bali, mungkin berangkat ke oke buat join sama Wildrift Bali-nya yang ada persiapan booker di sana. Cuma memang ada yang dibagi-bagi, jadi aku bakal nemenin kalian sampai selesai ini harusnya. Kalau tidak ada harapan seharusnya selesai.
associated with any kind of skill, be it
Pokoknya ntar ada
but here it's now for the first time we use this and all of these things will happen.
di SDK absen aku bang. Ya bang, udah dibeli bang RTX nya bang. So, jadinya beli 1660 bang.
This win and try to secure the first pick, maybe the second pick, or maybe you can just see the other team is having fun, especially if
Lama juga ya persiapannya mereka.
very comfortable in being on the blue side or on the red side, because if you're just that
Kayak gini, kalau kayak gitu aku 1 TFT tadi selesai kayak ya deh, setengah jam ini foto-foto panjang juga.
especially a Shen for the Chinese conference. A Shen is always strong.
Belakangan ini
And that's
champion-champion
the
lagi cuma apa karena memang aku lagi nggak ngikutin meta karena aku lagi nggak main banget.
that changes things. That changes
Ya aku lihat kayak cuma meta turnamen yang masih buat, jadi masih kepaku sama meta turnamen sih. Jadi instead dari meta karena kan meta in game sendiri kayak meta ranked itu beda sendiri sama meta turnamen. Nah, memang turnamen itu mostly kayak bakal lebih main kan main ranked kayak main naikin skill Miko. Kalau memang secara makro sih lebih bagus untuk main Orchid aku bang. Ini ngebacotnya lama juga ternyata, nggak pikir kayak cuma bacot-bacot sebentar 15 menit 20 menit ini udah setengah jam. Ini belum selesai sih Mbak. Ya sih memang kayak, tapi mereka cuma nunjukin standnya kayak, tapi nunjukin kayak pasti itu salah sih. Aku juga masih berharap kayak sebut nama aku bang, aku fans ya Blue Orchid, terima kasih Blue Orchid. Cita-cita kamu apa Blue Orchid? Apakah cita-citamu ketemu Evelyn lalu lalu dibunuh? Memang ini harusnya sih gimana sih menurut kalian? Menurut kalian nih yang lagi kita memang lagi ada masalah sama ya environment turnamennya ini yang kita memang kayak lagi kita balik juga PR-nya kita sih kayak gitu sih. Aku ingin menggulingkan pemerintahan dari seperti seorang Jericho Swain bang. Waduh. Nah, kalau kayak gitu kamu harus punya namanya tim Blue Rose. Kalau Blue Orchid nggak bisa. Black Rose, Blue Rose masih bisa lah kalau ada Rose. Menurut kalian environment turnamen belakangan memang kita dari buat sama kayak besar sport terutama di Bali dulu kita ya, tapi kita nggak ngelupain nasional sih, kita bakal tetap jalanin pelan-pelan kayak kita buat turnamen lain kayak kemarin yang dari kita nanti memang masih ada beberapa planning ke depannya yang moga bisa jalan karena memang secara anggota memang tidak banyak ya, maksudnya bukan anggota playernya ya, anggota pengurusnya nggak banyak, orang yang bisa ada waktunya cukup banyak itu nggak banyak. Kalau memang kita udah banyak yang, maksudnya udah banyak yang kerja, kita bakal kayak harus ngebagi waktu antara waktu kita sama komunitas untuk Wildriftnya sendiri. Kita juga bakal kita harus bagi waktu, kayak kita bakal kayak step by step sih nanti ke depannya untuk naikin secara fair. Cuma nanti kalau untuk misalkan kayak turnamen kan kita bakal kita masih ada beberapa sih untuk tahun, kita masih ada beberapa, kita udah nyiapin, cuma nggak tahu, semoga aja sih bisa jalan semua dengan jalan lancar, jalan, karena memang udah kita juga dengar ada turnamen nasional yang cukup bagus, cukup besar gitu. Itu apa ya, nanti kalian lihat aja sih. Memang udah ada, aku dengar kabar-kabar burung doang, cuma apapun yang terbaik buat Wildrift untuk Indonesia sih kita dukung aja sih. Tapi memang kalau dari jarak ini kita masih, kalau untuk naik sih kita masih bisa banget sih. Wildrift, kalau untuk dari perspektifku ya, Wildrift sendiri untuk masuk ke Indonesia belakangan ini kayaknya masih bisa sih, kalau untuk sekarang ini ya. Jadi momennya sebenarnya nggak terlalu buruk sih untuk benar-benar mulai start lagi untuk mencengin lagi dari Wildrift, karena memang kayak dari game-game sebelah itu mereka juga lagi agak kendor, bukan dari developernya, tapi memang politikalnya memang lagi kurang gini sih, kurang bagus untuk cara atau tim kayak gitu sih. Untuk new team gitu, mereka sebenarnya agak kurang bagus secara politikalnya, kayak gitu aja sih. Secara politikalnya agak kurang. Nah, 21 bang, mm. Aku sih nggak maunya aku nggak mau aku maunya TT. Mereka cukup lama mereka. Serius nih, aku 1 TFT selesai nih nungguin mereka ngobrol harusnya tadi. Bahkan belum kayak bahkan belum masuk persiapan ke turnamennya. Kayak masih persiapan gini, belum masuk ke lobbynya.
Actually, I'm looking forward to seeing the champions that I have been seeing a little bit more specialized roles in the conference, like the fight.
Ini Which belum keluar kan ya untuk di season ini ya.
I'm very excited.
Kapan sih harusnya keluar? Harusnya kan bulan ini kalau nggak salah kan. Karena Urgot udah bulan lalu. Nah, sih Twitch sudah keluar, cuma kayaknya memang masih belum boleh. Ini nggak tahu nih. Soalnya restriksinya mereka udah sampai mana? Karena memang kayak ada beberapa kayak kita kemarin untuk DG itu udah memperbolehkan bawa Urgot. Jadi kayak baru berapa ya? Kayak baru berapa hari update Urgot udah boleh dipakai sih. Sebenarnya asik juga karena ngelihat orang experimenting cuma ini masalahnya kan turnamen gede, stake-nya gede, jadi ini orang nggak bakal kalau misalkan dia udah kan memang harus keputusan dari tapi sih biasanya dari Riot sendiri mereka ngasih waktu dari hero-nya championnya rilis itu mereka nggak pakai hitungan gitu, mereka ketinggalan satu patch biasanya yang untuk satu ya. Misalkan patchnya itu sekarang harusnya rilis Urgot sama Edge, berarti restriksinya mereka itu harusnya ada Derry sama Zoe harusnya, kalau berdasarkan dari turnamen yang ini kalian yang lagi pada nonton nih santai-santai aja dulu, nggak perlu buru-buru, nggak perlu takut ketinggalan. Mungkin lagi sekitar 10-15 menit mungkin freezing kan. Nggak perlu takut ketinggalan sih, kayaknya masih bakal lama sih, mereka bakal masih ngobrol-ngobrol selama 15-20 menit ke depan, jadi ya santai-santai gitu. Ya kan masih istirahat astaga, masih lama sih. Masih lama. Kayak nunggu masih lama. Udah kita sampai dulu, aku mau ketawa, aku juga kebetulan mau ketawa. Kita balik sudah kebatas sampai siap. Oke, balik lagi dan ini langsung masuk dia ke ini ya. Ini buat kalian yang tidak tahu, ini mereka masih masuk ke 1v1 dan yang side-nya. Jadi yang yang menang bakal terus fight buat yang depan. Karena kayaknya sembah buat kalian berarti kurang kita.
Try to pick up a couple of items as well.
Yeah, Waves crashing on his side anyway, so it's a good thing that he actually came
Nggak
back
bisa
to actually take it
terlalu
down.
gede karena
And
memang
now with that,
ini ya.
advantages have been taken over, and
Pas
this is
memang.
going to be a good start. Level 3 is when both of these players are going to be fighting.
Karena
Anran
Kak
just being
Clean
very efficient despite being under the tower, still
Terlalu
getting all those CS in for himself. Guys,
Cek,
will
cek,
be
cek. Takutnya suaranya
deficit
aku
on the XP as he goes for the combo. Ooh, Anran.
Great broken wings. Doesn't have anything just yet. Let's have the exhaust. Ignite is not down, so Yuzez on an advantage here. But because of that, they're going to be having a bit of healing for both sides.
Oh.
And there comes the stun. That's
Wow.
what happens. And
Game.
Yuzez takes it down.
harusnya gitu.
And impeccable timing as well, guys.
Atau
Based
nyari
on
dua
the
kill
Anran
kayaknya.
there into the heal, and when he actually went
Kayaknya
in
dia nyari
for
2
a
kill
run,
kayaknya.
and the combo with it off, the guy was just ready with his very own stun, did the combo, and the damage was enough. Now with the first kill, it only has to get one more to take this win for the fight for side. Anran might just be feeling the pressure now.
Now, look at the players. So look at the bottom left and the bottom right. People are looking at one screen.
Yeah.
And this is look at how happy they are. Even if Arnold lost that first blood, it's still going to come down to the damage of
Ooh,
Visa.
dominance.
And that's going to be it. Does have the dominance. Is not going to
Yeah,
continue.
but
Arnold
can you
needs to
get
back
block?
away from this fight. This is
Block
the
kill atau
disadvantage
first
of the Ribbon. As we said, Ribbon's going to be having a big
Maju ke
advantage
depan.
here.
Nice.
Flashing in,
Nice
and
one.
that might be it. And the exhaust comes down.
Kayaknya
And
udah
Arnold
nggak
survives
bisa.
for another day.
Kayak
No
Vicky
more
bakal
flashes for Yuzef, forcing
kayaknya
Arnold
Nova
to
yang
back
bakal
away.
make set.
I think this is going to be a done deal if ever this tower is going to fall down.
Yeah, let's see. Almost. I mean,
Di
yeah, he's doing a lot of damage
400,
onto the tower
400.
now. Again, this is one of the
Apa?
objectives here. And just
BGBG
because
di sini udah nggak
you know,
bisa
Anran
ngelakuin
doesn't
banyak hal sih,
possess
meskipun dia
the
memang
level 5 yet, no blade of
karena memang
exile to actually get that additional
Yeah.
damage and
Huh?
the wind slash
dia
as well.
juga
It was another good timing here by Yais to make most out of this situation. Now, as Anran reaches level 5, yeah, he is matching now a little bit on that level 5 scenario, but still, the advantage is much more present here onto Yais. The one now dictating the pace of this 1v1 game.
nggak ada koneksi.
This 1v1.
Ya, sesuai dugaan udah susah sih memang kalau udah susah sih. Rivernya ngambil kondisi udah susah dan ya terus memang salah ya.
Infested in this game. So what that now implies is that Nova Esports will have the first pick priority, and or will have the side selection priority. Whether they want to get that first pick or the 2-pick advantage in the red side will be up to
Ya
them.
berarti memang kayak
Look at how not phase Aaron is even if they
Tak.
lost out. Even going for the second pick isn't really gonna affect them that much. That's how confident they are.
Jadi,
They force them to use the
milih
rhythm in
side-
the mid lane
milih
anyway.
side
so
atau
it's
milih
okay for
first.
the team. So in the end here, we're gonna be taking a look at how they approach this drafting after that first win that we had a while ago. So with that, we see the damage grabs from that game. 2 kills would net you the win
Kill
on
di
that
ya
1v1. So
ini udah menang di
the
awal
rotations that we
udah
had,
sebenarnya
it's
udah
really
susah sih
unfortunate
sebenarnya
that
itu.
we didn't really see a lot more compared to that. I think if they pick up Ribbon is a good pick, but if they pick up the Darius was also available there, that could potentially be a good pick against that Renekton a while ago.
Especially with the sustain, Riven does have the shield, but in terms of sustain, that's something that he actually lacks. And despite him having the crowd control, the Renekton still has its own. And especially with the stun that he possesses, he can actually just queue it up.
Renekton ya memang skinnya projectnya memang
as well being performed there by Yais, and that's something we are going to be taking note of as well, because even if it's just a 1 versus 1, that is information now that we are seeing, especially in terms of their performance when they do get their champions or the champions that they really love using. And Yais being phenomenal of a player in the Baron lane is just showing a little bit of a sneak peek on how good he is on this Renekton.
And now, how are they going to start this game? It all comes down to how they play the earlier parts of this game. Because right now, with what we've seen a while ago, I think these players have already met each other for quite a while now. And that's why they're just having fun with what's happening here. And we're waiting for the draft pick to actually happen before we head into it. Because we're still waiting for them to go for the picks and bans before we head into it. So this is just gonna be us just waiting for them to go about it. Right now, there you go. We're gonna go to pick and bans really fast on the uptake for both of our teams. Do hope that it's gonna be a great game for both of our sides. Starting it off with the Gragas ban as expected.
And Zoe as well. One of the most common bans that you do see, especially on the CN conference in the WRL, they do not want these champions being picked off by either side. The Shen as well, the Aatrox. We might not see a ban on the Yone and just let it spring free, especially that these teams can just counter it, especially with the other champions, the other fighter champions available in the scene. Most probably, we might see a priority on supports given that the Galio, the Alistar, and even not is available right now.
Yeah, and from what we've seen so far, the bans that we've seen here, they're always going to be prioritizing the Shen, as we said a while ago, and the priority to the Zoe is really good. Right now, they're back at it. Senna being available is just very disruptive for a team like this. A team like Nova, during the past years, have
Wah, match-nya lagi. Ini masih pindah deh. Pindah YouTube aja lah.
pick the Senna time and time again, and they're just doubling down. And as we said too a while ago, Akali is a priority pick in the CN conference, and that's why the second pick is just at that.
Yeah, remake have
lemot banget. Kasi bermasalah.
A really high win rate on this particular champion, Senna, allowing Nova Esports to get the wins as much as possible in most of their games. KBG, we can see, you know, the Akali going towards Anran or KG, because both of them are really strong in this particular champion as well. So that flex pick is gonna do a lot of work in the
lancar kan, goblok emang Twitch-nya.
Yeah. And now with that, having Galio as expected, with the Gragas ban, this is going to be the top 3 supports that we're going to be seeing every time. The Galio to the Nautilus, if they're going to be picking something, a Renekton or a Ribbon could also be good for the second pick that they have for the side of Nova Esports. They can just pick up that Ribbon. Oh, priority on the Garen. They still want to go for the full bruiser composition. With Nova Esports actually having the priority on the Senna, this Garen is a really good pick.
Yeah, I mean, now you have 2 really strong and durable champions ready to be in the front line for you. Yeah, KBG right now is responding with backline threat with the Ziggs.
Oh, that's
but
good.
Still, yeah, it is a good pick here for KBG. They want to reach the backline. They want to have that executing damage.
Akali, Kamilnya di ban.
With the Senna, a lot of protection is available for them. You have the Dawning Shadow to provide that shield. You have the Hero's Entrance to provide that safety net in a large radius. And now that's the goal here of Nova Esports, to try and interfere with the positioning here and try to just out CC them and out sustain KBG.
Honestly, I can
ada
see the
Akali
Ziggs being a very
sama
good pick,
Gragas
just
seperti
considering that most of the
sedangkan
players here
dari
for
tim
Nova Esports, so when you pick a Senna as the first pick, most of the time you expect that everybody's gonna stick together. So the AoE damage
Nova
from the
udah
Ziggs
ada
is just gonna be
Senna,
multiplied a lot more. But
Galio
here, the
sama
next bans that we're gonna be seeing for the
dari
Zed, the Yone getting banned, the priorities that we have from this place, the respect that they have for this junglers that we have for today is just there. They don't want to have the Gwen. They don't want to have the priority of the Yone. I do hope that Long picks the Lee Sin for
Yone
their side
Yone
here.
sama
'Cause
Wukong
if they want to sustain
dan
with this
terkenal.
early game composition, a Lee Sin could really magnify that
Kalau
picks
nggak
that they
Gragas
have
TikTok
for the side of
memang
KBG.
pro
So
player
far,
beda.
I'm really liking their picks. I do hope that
Memang
they add a bit
Pak
more
Gungde
speed
ini
just to make
buat
this
kalian yang nggak tahu
Akali
nih
work a lot
merupakan
more.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of champions
pro
here,
playernya
KG actually removed from the scene. That
ND,
leaves the Jax here
salah satu orang
for
paling
him to
jago lah.
actually pick up. It can be really risky, especially with the amount of pressure that always thrown at the Jax, given that he is a really hard to scale up champion towards the late game. And given the composition provided here by Nova Esports, they can attempt to bully the Baron lane and try to prevent him from ever reaching his power spike. Now as you do hover the Corki, this signifies a scaling momentum as well here in the side of Nova Esports to pair it up with the Senna that they have. So maybe in the early game they can have some downsides, and especially in trying to prevent KG from scaling up.
Kha'Zix.
But with the Kha'Zix, that might just fix everything for them.
Yeah, with the Kha'Zix, this is really nice to have. For this composition at that, remember, what we're looking at here is a Jax, Akali, and even a Vi. There's a lot of
Vi.
firepower for Long to actually make use of with this Kha'Zix, which is why it is a really good pick against them. They do have a bit of tankiness, a damage that they can look forward to in the side of Nova. So KBG, with the composition, they are looking a lot more to go for the single target. Ziggs going for the Mega Inferno Bomb, and the execution happens for all of the other teammates that they have for KBG. On the side of Nova, they want to sustain long fights. So that's why they have Long to execute, and they do have a lot of the members from the side of Nova to actually just take over this early stages and just make use of this Kha'Zix after getting
Viewer
their
super
first
testing,
items.
jadi banyak yang
It's
dukung
very scary
ya
though
memang KBG.
to think that KBG having to pick up the Vi would
Okay,
provide
nanti
a lot of
takut
safety
tuh
actually
gampang.
for KG, even in the mid lane. And with
Ya, siapa
the
yang
help of the Nautilus as well there by Uhu, there's a lot of playmaking potential on the side of KG to actually threaten the scaling of Nova Esports. Because you have the Corki, you have the Senna. It would take some time to actually scale up. Even if you have the Kha'Zix, no one is actually there aside from the Gali to actually enable this champion of Long. So there's some gaps that we are seeing right now on the side of Nova Esports. Hopefully they
langsung aja kita masuk.
able to patch it up within the
Ya,
game.
mid
Because KG
Senna-nya
did not let people just get away when
fasting
making
Senna.
mistakes. They are really good at
Mungkin Senna
punishing, and
Pak.
they make very little mistakes, almost as clean as it gets. And even if they do have really scaling champions, their late game is very scary. Because of the Akali, because of the Jax, Neon and Remake might be threatened a lot in the backline.
Look at the set that they had here. Look at the rotations that we had for both of our teams, right? Because they know that the Jax is not going to be having an easier time on the Baron lane, because most of the time people just double up on the Baron lane. This is what they did. They swapped out Rize onto the bot side, or rather the top side, and even swap KG onto the bot lane, and this just makes it easier for them to work around it. So this is going to be a challenge that they need to cover, because they have a Galio on the bot lane, and Jax is just going to be farming easily there.
Banget Pak, case yang bukan nge-case nih, kita santai aja, kita cuma watch party doang.
There's the same graphics we do see in the WRL 2022 and the Legend Cup 2023 in the CN conference. Very different.
Karena
now
judulnya
you see, KG taking a bit of
Watch
damage
Party
from the pokings
S game.
of Remake and Yami. Well, the goal is to bully the Jack and prevent him from getting those
Dari gini dari
CS,
Jax
and
agak
also
kesulitan
provide
di
that
sini.
stability for Remake as he does scale up the Nova Esports. So far in this early instance of the game,
Maju ke depan,
have a really good
terus
setup.
tapi
But I
terusnya
see
langsung
currently,
berbalik
for
sampai
sure, Because later on, that is going to be coming by to try and secure this first blood for KBG.
Misinya
Look at them
masuk
rotating
balik.
back here. That is going to be the challenge here every time for them. Because when they're going to be rotating back here for the side of KBG, Yize is not going to be having a problem here. But KG is having the biggest of problems. So far, when it comes to the
Tapi ya ini
rotation
masalahnya
during
kalau
the
misalkan
early
mereka
stages of our
ditarik
game,
terus sampai
I do believe that
game
Nova
sih
Esports
ya
were just on top of KBG.
ya
Again, and
itu
the reason why is because KG is not
gara-gara
having a time in
gara-gara
the
ini
lane,
pindah
even
sih
though
ini
if he's
gara-gara
taking a bit of items here,
ini
he's still on
taruh
a
di mana
big
dari
disadvantage here.
bawah
With
takutnya
Onside
ngalangin.
not even able to get close to them. And Wu is here for quite a bit of time, took a bit of time the top side, and the rotation happened again because they don't want to give the disadvantage to KG.
Yeah,
langsung aja
now,
mulai ada war,
as we actually group up
langsung lihat
here in
ulti
the bottom side
Novinya
river,
masuk pada
engage.
ke depan
Season
flash
this
keluar ya.
happens, and now they're going to be starting the fight. They're going to be
Nah,
slowing
nice.
down. Ooh, going to come back
Kan
just as
akalnya
much as
wah
that.
tahu.
And was able to do some damage,
Flash
but
lagi.
not enough to actually get the win there. And Nova is just going to back away from that fight.
Mundur aja sudah.
And almost got a kill
Mereka
there.
cuma
Only
mereka
Yami
mengambil
with perfect execution. Fortunately, he was interrupted
agak susah
by
sih kayaknya.
Razek and forced to just use that
Karena memang mostly dari anggota timnya dari Nova sendiri mostly banyak yang tebel. Unrang ini memang cuma targetnya kalau nggak kopi ya
that will just be
lumayan.
respected here by
Nggak,
KBG.
kalau
Stand
nggak
will be securing the
kopi
wave
ya di
only
sana tapi
losing 2 plates in
dua-duanya
the first tier
Legend
tower.
Dimension juga nggak main.
Yeah. And now with that, we're going to be stopping for just a bit here. And I hope that we do start to see a little bit more of our players. We're just going to be
Pause,
having a bit of a pause, but we've seen from our game a while ago that was a really good start of the game. This is the difference between the APAC conference and the CN conference. Look at how fast they rotate around the map. They have been playing around the map, especially Yu on the side right there, JBG, very strong, and even Yami on the Dragon lane. The rotations that they've been doing is really good because they knew what to do against the Jax, and whenever you pick a Jax, the punishment is always going to be there.
Yeah, and the same amount
Tapi
of
kalau aku ngeliat
respect
sih
on
aku
the
jauh lebih
KBG,
senang untuk ke arah late game ya
just
ke
being
arah
able
gamenya sih ke
to
arah
safely farm despite the pressure that Sport is
tim
put him in the bottom lane, and the rotation as well coming in
apa sih
from
ke
the
arah
side of
tim Novanya
KBG,
sih jadi
just
daripada timnya
responding
di
towards the proactive movements of Nova Esports,
karena
and the safety
kita tahu
aspect
sendiri
that
Sena
is
punya
being
asuransi ke belakang
executed
yang
here
jauh
by
lebih
both
bagus
of these teams, as we do not see any first blood just yet in the first few minutes of the game. Maybe it will happen
ya
as
lainnya udah kali
when the objectives
ke arah
actually
belakang juga
come up,
makin ke
because
makin
KBG
legend makin
do
sakit
not
juga sih
do
sebenarnya.
not let anyone
Makin
take their
gampang dia one shot
objectives
satu
that
orang itu
easily.
pertama
Nova
kayak Sena
Esports,
itu nanti
they
tinggal
are so far
mereka
trying out this very
kalinya itu
proactive
nge-flanking dari belakang nyari Sena
strategy and trying to set up some plays, be
Nggak
the
bisa
ones first in an area, which is a really good move, really good tactic by them.
Yeah, Nova Esports really knows how to play around the map, and they knew how to play against KBG. I was expecting Yu to actually get more advantage when it comes to playing around the map. He always was on top during a lot of their scrims that has happened during the last time. But hey, it's still not done. The game is still at 3 minutes, and I can still feel the pressure for most of our players, because that first fight, I thought there's someone who's gonna die. But looking at the spacing from our players, that is how you're supposed to play. The micro plays, because most of the time, most teams know how to macro on this level of play. But the micro of our players, we've seen it. Adron wasn't even afraid that he's gonna die, even went in with a perfect execution, because they knew that they don't have NCC anymore. Adron was able to get away even with the sliver of his health left. And that's how confident these players are with their own skill. And that's something to really take note of this conference.
Banyak sekali permasalahan.
Yeah, the communication as well, very
Kalau
on
nggak
point by both of these teams, especially in
persiapan
these
lama
hyper-active team fights happening with a lot of things going on inside the fight. Yami as well also being able to safely escape despite the amount of damage he actually took in that fight, trying to do the crowd control that he is supposed to do in that fight as well, to aid the members of Nova Esports. And I guess it's just a shaking of both of these teams, just trying to get a gauge, trying to get a glimpse of how they are actually going to throw in their jabs, similar to like all the other fighting games that we do see all around the world. And I think it's just going to be a testing of the water here for for KBG and Nova Esports for the first few minutes of the game, especially that both of them actually possess late game scaling champions, and that's going to be the tipping point for sure.
Yeah, I do hope that we see a lot more of this from our players during this first 3 minutes. There were a lot of actions that already happened around the map, and yes, when it comes to this CN teams, they always prioritize the Jax. Even last year, they have a big priority on that Jax on the jungle.
Ini masa belum
Now,
dikasih
the
tahu
difference maker
masalah
is how are
isinya
they
apa.
going to be
Jadi
using this Jax in their favor
ya
for KBG? Because
kayaknya paling apa
most of
sih?
the pressure is going to happen on the side of Jax. It's going to be playing weak side, but
Headset
remember,
mungkin?
it is
Kayaknya
on the
kalau
hands of
headset sih
one
kayaknya
player
nggak sama ini.
right here on the side of KBG, which is KG. But the problem here
Tapi tadi
is
memang ada berapa kali sih memang dari kayak
seen him a while ago playing against Anran toe to toe, but because he's using a guarantee,
Novanya sendiri berhasil nge-pressure pergerakan dari ini ya, dari
Because
dari
Nova Esports
KBG.
doesn't want to get that
Kayak
single
berapa kali
pick
tadi mereka
that
coba
one execution, especially with the silence, that
berhasil
can
ngaras kayak
actually
tadi dia
interfere with a lot
bawah.
of plans
Siapa tadi ya?
or intention of a
Ya satu apa
particular
siapa
player,
tuh?
depending on
Itu
who
ke pressure
the
banget,
target will be here
nggak bisa
for
ngapa-ngapain.
Rise, and
Kayak
him being a
dia tuh
very, very
keharas
strong player,
habis-habisan karena
he
memang
will punish him himself.
senanya sendiri kan memang cukup sakit, terus
In most of the cases,
meskipun belum
that can be
sakit
a
tapi
big
harassingnya sama
obstacle
healingnya juga lumayan
for
lumayan
KBG,
annoying.
especially for Honor.
Apalagi
As for
temennya
Holly,
adalah Galio
position
skill
as
satunya
much
juga
damage as possible
pas,
when
dia
you
bisa
go in, and when
all
there's
in
a
cepat,
Garen, that can pose a lot of
bisa nge-pull, bisa nge-town, jadi memang kayak bakal susah banget sih
to that
Jackson di
percent
sana buat
combo.
bang.
And I think
Tapi
that's one of
terus
the
sedangkan di
things
sisi
that Nova
lain
wants to keep in mind.
Garennya
These
sendiri
guys
malah masih bisa
on
survive
Anran in most
ketika
of the
dia
cases
ngelawan si
try to
Ziggs.
interfere with his combo, because when they
Dan
actually get
memang karena
to
pasifnya
talk to
dari
the Kali, that is
Garen
what
sendiri,
will
kalau dia
definitely
gak kena
leader
damage
on the
bisa
side of
nge-heal
KBG.
itu sendiri
Yeah,
udah
and one
gak.
of the problems here that they always need to face is the threat of the Ziggs on their side, because they pick up a Senna on the Dragon Lane side. They really have a lot of space.
Kayaknya memang cukup lama
So
sih.
what they are expecting,
Kalau untuk daerah
only
mid
good thing
mid
caveat
tadi
that they
apa
have
ya?
here is that they have a Corki on
Mid
their side.
tadi
So that is something that they need to use on the middle stages of the game, because
apa
this
sih tadi
Corki
aku lupa. Cuma kalau masalah
needs to
jungle,
be
kayaknya
working for
jungle-nya
a lot
segini
more.
jauh
Here,
lebih kuat
the
sekarang.
way they
Memang
started it is really good.
V
Now,
itu bisa
going
target
back into the game,
satu
everybody,
orang
here
secara
comes the
cepat.
game, and that has a lot of things has happened after those
Mulai
minutes.
kita balik lagi.
One
Game
minute,
I
actually,
wonder,
1 minute.
memang sedikit lebih ganggu V karena memang dia bisa benar-benar target satu orang secara ketika war besar itu, kayak dia bisa pakai ultinya maju ke arah depan. Saat itu dia udah nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain. Biasanya kita yang dicari itu kemungkinan besar antara Senna atau Orkinya. Jadi kalau misalkan gitu kemungkinan pembagiannya antara si Akalinya bakal nyari Senanya arah belakang, terus si V-nya bakal nyari si Korkinya. Mereka dua itu ke shutdown, timnya nggak punya damage sama sekali karena dari long sendiri nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain ya, karena dia memang tipe assassin yang memang cuma bisa masuk ketika darah-darah tipis doang.
Here on the bottom side of the map, waiting for any praise that he can take a look
Harusnya
at.
easy sakit sih.
All the damage on the KG, this is one of the disadvantage that they have as a
Dia
team
sakit banget sih.
is because when they start a fight, they remember they still have a Jax that they need to think about. But because they can get themselves to a position, this is the difference between on the C and
Masih
they
dibela.
can just give
Oh,
the objective. They can just wait before they can
Kawan
come
juga.
in with their items. Right now, they're just gonna be waiting.
Pakai skill duanya untuk
has been used there by the Corki, so that will give some
langsung
time here for
nyoba.
KG to actually set up.
Tapi dilihatin ini kayaknya bakal kontes ya, bakal
In the
kontes.
bottom lane, that's a perfect
Yeah,
execution.
Slime was able to hit, and
Ke
that's gonna be
depan.
coming in. That's gonna be one down. Leon is gonna be down
Ujat
onto the
nice.
top. Airplane's gonna fall down.
Kan diangkat,
Here
nah
was
itu yang ganggunya, tapi berhasil sih dia dapat fightnya bagus.
just, yeah,
Oh,
so they're gonna be starting.
flashnya
They
bagus
still
banget
got one. Now,
anjir.
Arthur's gonna be the target. They still got
Nice.
it. Long gap
Oh,
advantage
mundur,
here.
selamat.
And we've seen it time and time again.
Selamat,
Long
satu
as
tukar
players are executing
Dragon sih.
these objectives.
Yeah, and
Korkinya tukar
Really
Dragon.
good as well, the
Shadownya
priority
cepet
on the objective, and yeah, that allowed
Jadi
KBG to
nggak
actually
worth it
take
sih.
the kill onto
Mereka yang
Liman, but
mereka
they're
dapat
focusing on the objective, focusing onto the dragon. Now it's a Rift Herald, has been taken over by
turret
KBG.
juga udah dapetin sama
Push here in the
tim
middle. It would be very difficult.
KBG di biar
almost as very close to taking it down. 573 HP. I think that's very much even here for both of these teams, despite Neon getting taken down.
Ini kalau kayak gini terus KBG bisa menang sih. Masih ada kemungkinan besar menang.
The scaling with the Dragons.
Tapi kalau misalkan Senanya
This is gonna be here.
ada
What
portal
they're
stack
gonna be looking
yang
at
kencang,
here for the side
udah
right here of KBG.
Gimana?
Take a look at this fight right here, Gia.
susah banget sih mereka.
Such a big
Ah.
burst, especially with the Mega Inferno by
Ya, mereka kalah jumlah, kalah standby.
Just helping out on the team as the other members of Nova Esports focus on taking that mountain drive, because
Karena memang ada yang pecah tadi dua war,
very hard to take down,
buat
and given the
yang satu udah ke
amount of
shadow
presence on the
cepet, jadi
scaling
sisa yang
level,
satu doang nahan di depan,
did
dan satu
require
nahan
most of them to
pergerakan dari
practice just
KBG lagi
additional
duanya
damage on
Iya.
that mountain drive.
untungnya mereka dapat sih karena
Yeah. And
Ya,
if they're gonna be
bagus.
starting something, that is gonna
itu
be
karena
on the
ultinya
objective. Remember,
Pi,
they had the
saya malah
rebound
bisa
on the top side,
kecolongan.
giving them a bit of an advantage here for the side of
Support it
KBG.
sekali.
That
Mereka
gives KG a lot more space onto the top side of the map to actually just go and farm.
2,000 gold lead so far.
Mati.
Mati. Side of KBG.
Oh
my
Ah.
gosh!
The
Whoa!
damage from Onrun.
Gila.
That's crazy.
And
Segede
that's
banget damage-nya.
You know, the Garen has been, buffed
Makanya
up a
itu.
little bit over the past few patches in
Oh,
terms of capability,
sama.
especially with the second skill, but that doesn't matter here. For
Ini
us,
udah dua itu makanya sakit banget, gila, bocor anjir
for Yais.
dari
Does this bunch gonna be hitting? They do have
Garen lo tuh, bukan main-main, bocor, maju, dar, mati.
But they have long heroes and it's gonna hit the ton. And
Tuker
he
satu.
fall.
Tapi
KBG is gonna back away in shame.
masalahnya yang dikayain akalinya berat ntar itu kalau misalkan udah terlalu kaya.
From the side, despite them losing the tower, they're still able to pick up that kill and lose absolutely nobody in that fight. But again, let's check out the replay here in the
Oh.
lane. Yais
Gila,
only losing 2 bars
Ah,
in that
cepet
first
sekali
instance.
anjir kombonya.
The moment that Anna committed on that 1v1, we just saw those HP bars being deleted.
Calculated damage.
They got the kills a while ago, but right now, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a challenge here for the side of Nova to make use of this disadvantage they got. Mid lane tower, top lane tower have been taken over already by KBG. A while ago, I thought Nova was the
Ini
one who got
Jax,
the bigger
ini kalau
advantage
Jax-nya nggak
in the last
direspect,
fight. But
jebol sih
because
turretnya satu
KBG
persatu
was
nih.
able to
Ini
get one cap,
atas udah
one
jebol, tengah udah
advantage,
jebol.
they turned the sides around, got them
Kalau nggak direspect
a lot
dia,
of these towers, a lot of this
kalau nggak ada yang
gap.
bisa mirrorin dia mati sih.
And Nova Esports
Nova nih,
are playing it a little
jadi
slow.
belum bener-bener nyusahin sih
They're,
ini.
seeing,
Jadi
they're feeling the pressure
Ron.
actually from KBG. The tower takedowns, the kills, and
UI-nya keren ya, UI-nya gini,
earlier onto
UI-nya dari Riot-nya.
now it's reflecting
Ini aja
on the
apa
goal.
namanya,
3,000 gold lead manifest
mapnya sebelah
here
kanan,
by
biasanya sebelah kiri berubah, nggak tahu ini sih ya.
actually set up
Spektatornya
the
semoga nanti ada kayak gini spektator. Berharapnya sih kedepannya kayak gitu.
coming up in the next 30 seconds, and with the split push advantage available here or present on the side of KBG.
Jadi Papa Rito
Basically,
tolong spektatornya nanti
anyone
untuk kayak gini
down,
juga dong,
no one
untuk
will
yang
sense
spektator
on the
turnamen
allowing,
draftnya nanti.
allowing their jacks for KG to
Bagus banget soalnya
stay
memang.
farm on the
Ini
other
enak
side.
banget sih, jadi kayak nggak perlu.
Scaling
Tapi masalahnya adalah
Rift Maker, yeah.
itemimisasinya sih sebenarnya.
And we do have our
Yang butuh itu sebenarnya UI yang di sebelah kiri atas.
And KBG is already in
Turret
position. They have the
berapa,
chance to
duit
actually contest
berapa,
this, but Nova
ya
needs to
berapa,
be
itu
careful
nggak,
how they start.
itu aja sebenarnya yang butuh.
Swami does have the hero's entrance.
Kalau
All is
misalkan yang
already
untuk itemnya sih
in.
yang kayak dulu masih
Does
nggak.
have no isolation. No
Ya, karena memang yang di bawah itu UI-nya
steal that we're looking so far.
PND kayaknya.
Nova is gonna be coming in
Pas
right there.
Pak
They won't
ulti,
make the steal season.
Pak dari
It's gonna
Senanya
be
maju
almost
ke arah
gonna be dead in the
depan,
shot, but the Dawning Shadow is gonna be
mundur
dead.
nice, kalinya dapat 1 kill ya gitu. 4 lawan 3 di sini. Oh, posisinya nggak bagus ini. Ya Korki doang, mereka cuma punya damage dealernya Korki doang, kalau nggak gitu mereka mati nih. Mereka harus mundur. Senanya Shadow cepet banget sih dikejar sama gini. Kejar sama akalinya di sana.
They try to steal, they try to sustain, they try to outlast them, but it's
Ini kan udah feelingku udah benar ya. Memang karena apa? Kalinya memang tujuannya adalah nyedown Senanya, karena kan mereka Senanya shutdown, mereka nggak punya damage yang benar-benar berarti. Oh, gini cuma kayak ngasih utility tambahan. Jaru out, daru.
Mega Inferno Bomb actually doing a
Oh,
lot.
Kha'Zixnya mati.
Bar of long. When An runs in,
Ininya terlalu ke depan
lost
kayaknya.
the Galio of Nami. And it's
Eh,
actually a
oh,
version
kayaknya kena
of Nova
hook.
Esports going in once again. Because we saw the hesitations coming in from Neon.
Kalau udah
Time
kena
is just
tangkap
not
kayak gitu,
right
udah
yet
terlalu
for
depan,
the
sana agak susah.
Yeah, now
Tapi
it's
teman-temannya udah
starting
sepakat kayak
to
gitu.
look like the members right here at Nova are struggling to make sure of their advantage a while ago, especially during the early game. This is the problem
5-1
when you have
kondisi
Kha'Zix in
duit
your team,
4,4.
and you won't be able to find any isolation
Masih ada
plays.
kemungkinan
Yes,
sih
it
mereka
should be
ngebalikin
on paper,
jalannya
KBG
pemain.
would go for single target kills.
Masih belum
But
siap
so
kalau sih.
far, they have been going for these big fights, and they have been winning.
Baron udah
And
dapet ya tadi.
that is not what I'm expecting, especially on the Santa composition.
Should be taking fights. Just
Baron
as
apa?
well here for Nova Esports. Maybe when you have the numbers advantage, maybe if you're the one who actually is starting the fight and you do see the probability of KBG not having enough time to answer back, maybe that's a good timing. But so far in the last fight that we have seen,
Ya, apalagi Wildrift lagi.
ambitious
Tolong
Nova Esports. And
Tolong
yeah, we are
hilangkan
seeing a
mengganggu.
little bit of gold building up on the side of KBG, 5,000 in fact. If that goes on, especially with the gold funneling towards Alpha and Xiaoma, that is not gonna look good.
Ini
for the
mereka
next team fight
kesyat.
for Nova Esports.
Mereka mati aja sekitar 2 sampai 3. Kemungkinan gol 2 sampai 3.
Actually come back from this game because of the items that they're having in a so as long as they let Neon get the items, they might still have a chance here. Since the Baron is going to be the thing that they're going to be looking forward
Baron udah
for the next ones. And look at how fast this game is going, because everybody's just moving around. There's no stability that we're seeing. We're just seeing that KBG always has that 5k gold lead against Nova Esports, and they're keeping it at that.
Yeah. Very strong as well, setting up the vision across the map, making sure they
Kenapa nggak? Oh nggak,
position
No
advantage.
HP.
Dar.
RH denied. Good job there by Nova
Yeah.
Esports.
Wasn't able to block,
Kedinai. Jadi
be able to help out.
terlalu gini banget sih.
Now they'll lose a bit of
Scuttlernya memang karena gini sih. Kalau kalian tahu itu kenapa nilainya Scuttler pertama itu kok Scuttler
Neon does have the package if ever they
Herald pertama tuh lebih
look at their
gede nilainya dibandingkan Herald kedua tuh adalah
that they can take this pretty easily.
Herald pertama itu tidak segampang di shutdown di Herald kedua karena itemnya
So they are forced to back away a little bit. Given the vision also present here on the side.
karena memang dari cara item Herald kedua biasanya mereka udah dari musuhnya udah ada item 1 sampai 2 jadi lebih gampang untuk ngebunuh Heraldnya. Sedangkan kalau untuk Herald pertama tuh kan item masih belum lebih susah sih untuk ngedeny dari Herald itu untuk masuk itu.
Again, setting up a dash rush here
Win.
on the top side.
Buat ngecek doang.
Shadow just for the checking.
Yeah, they got the vision there because of the Dawning Shadow. So KBG, one of the challenges here for the next time. Look at their scores, look at their items right now, because that is going to be disappearing later. We have 3 items of most of our players on the side of KBG. So it's going to be a challenge here for Nova. It's a good thing that we still have 3-0, even though we're seeing fights left and right for both of our teams. We still haven't got a lot of those all together.
Misalnya gini gini
Here,
banget.
with them looking the
Biarannya aja bisa
it's gonna
mati
be
kok
coming in
sama
just a bit. They need to be careful on how they approach this next fight, especially for KBG. They're the ones who need to be careful in this next fight.
Interesting. Nova Esports are sending out guys to Garen to hold off KG, but given the itemization that KG has with Jax, it's pretty difficult.
Agak aneh sih ngeliatnya UI-nya untuk yang item karena lebih kebiasaan lihat itemnya langsung cepet gitu langsung gampang. Langsung aja ininya siap-siap siap nyari yang gampang. Tankernya bener-bener mereka memang lebih secara gini lebih bagus untuk 5v5 untuk tim yang lain. Dan 5v5 juga sih 4v4 atau 4v5 kalau
seeing for
Terus
today
nanti
before they will be
dia
able to
sendiri
get
maju
any of their
masuk
turrets
terakhir
down. So
buat
they need to be
finishing
careful Nova, because
orang-orang
they're the ones
yang udah
at the problem here. If they get taken down, this might be their last fight, because KBG could end this potentially. Now Nova drawing in, using the miss in order
saya kenaknya dari ya kena nyari udah bagus kena dan dia udah
is just showing, because they're not taking any of this on both sides.
This is a big risk for sure. Fertile Dragon started
caranya
already with
maju
KBG.
maju ting
Starting the fight already. They have the
caranya
dance along. They want
waduh
to
ada
go in.
gini
They have the
tuh
heroes enter
oh
the
nice
fight. They
dapat
might be able to steal it.
nice kestil langsung mundur langsung mundur langsung mundur langsung mundur
And everybody's still alive. They still have the
oh selamat Yami oh ketangkap tangkap mundur aduh udah mundur jangan dipaksa udah cukup di sana itu udah bagus banget ngestilnya bener-bener bagus sih tadi itu kayak Garennya sama Senanya tadi tuh bantu dari arah river mereka ngedistract dari pergerakan dari KB jadi kayak sekitar 3 apa 4 orang tadi sampai ke distract sama keberadaan dari Nova ini. Oh 5 ke distract langsung maju ke arah depan ulti langsung jepret. Oh hero entrance-nya bagus banget sih. Gila. Hero entrance-nya bagus banget. Jadi juga pasti bisa selamat tapi dimajuin juga. Nah, tapi ini sih banyak langsung komit buang flash di sana maju ke arah depan buat ngejar 1 kill aja tadi. 1 kill ekstra tadi.
That's Nova's rogue right there. That he's always going to be getting all those kills. And that's why Long has this reputation of actually just securing most of these objectives from the past year. So KBG, they need to be careful about that because the dragons that we have already for their side is already massive here. So KBG needs to be careful of this next objective fight that we're going to be having. 4K Gold League, even though that we're looking at KBG always having the advantage. Right
mundur ke arah belakang, itu langsung mundur ke arah belakang itu bisa terlalu banyak.
Remember, he's level 15 already, even though that most of the players here of KBG had the advantage a while ago.
And it's actually nice to see that Nova East
ini ngenentuin kan
the pressure that KBG is trying to put in for the past 19 minutes into the game. We do see the gold still being stuck at almost 5.
Ini kemungkinan lagi 9. Ini siapa yang dapat nih kemungkinan bisa megang bisa pegang gamenya. Kalau misalkan KBG yang dapat mereka win di game pertama, kalau misalkan Nova mereka masih bisa balikin tempo, bisa balikin tapi Long sendiri nggak bisa diremehin sih supportnya cek itu ini bagus banget tadi itu kayak mereka dia pakai ulti Long ya buat biar ada si Galionya biar ada tak enggak hello nah masih leletar masih nggak berani maju mereka.
KG was a little bit late going towards them as well and
masih tunggu-tungguan masih nonton-nontonan
causing a lot of pressure
waiting mereka tunggu-tungguan KG-nya gerak dong di situ ngasih pressure di arah atas KG-nya lepas loh KG-nya lepas di arah atas tuh KG-nya lepas kalau kalian di arah kalian lihat itu di arah atas tuh jebol gitu. Mereka paling nggak harus dapat Elder Dragon, kalau nggak gitu mereka bakal minus banget. KG-nya udah posisi siap war. KG-nya udah posisi siap war. Dia udah deket arah. Dia udah jaga-jaga di daerah. Coba pressure di arah tengah untuk ngambil trap. Ini dari KBG cuma ngebet mereka doang sih. KBG cuma ngebet Nova. Kalau misalkan ditinggal mereka ngambil objektifnya. Kalau nggak gitu, KG-nya bakal gerak untuk ngambil objektif
The
red.
inhibitor tower in top lane.
Ini annoying banget sih.
Will win already. Maybe they can set up for mid lane.
Ini annoying banget sih buat tim
And he
Novan.
was
Ini mereka susah
he did
banget.
come from mid lane a while ago and just decided to take that tower in the top lane.
4 orang korkinya udah siap, Pak. Udah siap. Tapi mereka cuma punya satu tanker di sana. Cuma punya satu tanker itu ya agak susah. Karena kalau misalkan tadi mereka ada Garen cukup tebel, mereka cukup tanky, mereka bisa nahan damage itu. Garen. Oh, langsung maju ke depan, V-nya kena Kara
Taking a lot of
dari Galionya sana.
KBG looking for a chance to pounce back onto Nova, but
Coba
Nova's not
nahan
taking the
pergerakan
bait.
dari Jax
They
biar
know that
Jax nggak terlalu
KBG
maju
is
ke arah
on the
depan.
flank here. And Nova Esports are just on looking onto the side, but
Oh, di arah atas tuh minion yang ganggu banget di sini nih, mereka kayaknya bakal full commit nih. Ya, mereka full commit ngambil gini. Langsung di war dulu, sepertinya bakal mati. Ya. Yami berhasil sama dengan flashnya di situ, tapi mereka bakal langsung di sini mereka bakal ngambil enggak? Oh, enggak. Ini annoying banget sih memang gara-gara dari minion dari arah atas ini. Karena mereka dari atas itu dari tim Nova cuma berhasil jebolin satu turret, jadi armor sama defensifnya ya armornya dari minionnya mereka kurang bagus sih. Iya, ini udah lama sih ini. Kayak dibilangnya udah hampir 3-4 menit mereka kayak gini terus. Biar kelihatan colok-colokan kayak gini tuh. Nice. Mundur lagi dong.
Taking the risk of not going for this KBG. This is taking a bit of time. But if you take a look at what's happening, KBG taking a bit of advantage.
Diganggu lagi.
Neon doesn't have any more package, and KG is just
Mundur.
taking a lot of
Udah.
taking a lot of
Kayak gitu terus,
on the
gila.
side. So this is
Gila, ini dimainin di sini terus karena mereka tahu ini objektif paling besarnya mereka.
and KBG
dapat, KBG menang. Nova dapat. Turning the point.
Coming from Nova Esports, the defense strategy that they're doing right now
Bakal main jauh lebih agresif sih kalau misalkan dari Novanya di sini berhasil dapat.
Scaling for KG. Andran is already scaled up pretty hard in this game, but you have unlimited scaling on the Senna here for remake. So as long as the game goes by, no matter how long it takes, if they are going to be able to stall the game, the better chances actually for Nova Esports to have this Senna
Lagi ditungguin kan. Lagi pokoknya dimain-main ini di
furthest from the front lines.
ya kalau kalian tahu main benteng-bentengan kayak gini dah.
Amount of range
Permainan anak kecil apa zaman kecil kalian main benteng-bentengannya ini dah. Definisi dari main benteng-bentengan tapi
I'm afraid we won't
biar menangnya adalah dapatin
look at
nih
the
Wildrift.
from where he is actually firing and onto
Terus saya kayak gini.
KBG still going with the same strategy, sending
PG itu di arah atas itu udah mulai nge-pressure lagi tuh. Untung ada Garennya di sini. Tapi masalahnya mereka cuma punya satu tanker di sini.
Liman actually is
Agak susah sih di sini. Mereka punya cuma satu tanker.
near the red.
Sedangkan dari musuhnya sendiri ada satu fighter sama satu tanker sih.
They do have their defenses set up as Nova Esports is settling down with the same tactics.
Oke, masih dimainin terus.
Taking this elder.
Diajak play around di sini.
to actually take this. Nova Esports are taking a bit of time here, and that's why KG onto the top.
Ini susah. Ini mereka susah banget sini.
Giving themselves.
Di arah atas
Reason why they're doing this.
war enggak ini kayaknya bisa Nova yang ngambil. Kemungkinan besar bisa Nova yang ngambil. Kalau enggak, mereka cuma bertiga, satu mundur. Kalau mereka berempat bisa sih kayaknya Nova tadi ngambil itu. Akalinya udah siap. Ziggs udah datang lah. Ini mereka yang fokus nih. Ini yang kesulitan nih. Novanya bakal mati nih kayaknya. Kena ulti. Dar. Nice. Langsung ada flash mundur ke arah belakang. Tapi langsung mundur aja dari V-nya. Di sini posisi naga cuma sisa 25% di sini, langsung buka ulti. Ya, berhasil dapat 1 kill. Oh, naganya 10%. Lagi 5%. 5%. Nice. Nice. Novanya menang. Novanya bisa balikin the game nih. Novanya bisa balikin the game. Bisa balikin the game. Dia bisa balikin the game. Langsung dimajuin. Langsung dibalikin. Jackson nice. Nice. Ini turning point-nya Nova sini. Jadi turning point-nya Nova ini. Mati juga nih. Ace nih. Game. Dari arah tengah langsung dipus habis-habisan sama gini. Sama korkinya. Sama gini. Nice. Gila sih steal-stealannya bagus banget anjir.
Oh my gosh! 6 minutes of an Elder Dragon dance! But it is Nova Esports coming up top in that fight. The moment they got the kill
Gila sih. Gamer namanya mantap banget anjir. KBG-nya di sana benar-benar ya 4 menit lebih mereka mainin itu Elder Drake. Tapi ternyata gila Nova Longnya bagus banget anjir. Gila. Kacau banget itu ya. Mereka nggak benar-benar nggak bisa ngapain sih dari sampai kayak acak-acak kayak gitu mereka mainin habis-habisan sama Nova jadinya. Padahal mereka udah bersiap, udah berempat itu tadi. Dari anggota KBG ini aku udah bakal ngerasa itu kayak tapi ternyata karena si V-nya tadi cukup maju, langsung dia buka ulti maju ke arah depan, dia malah ke shutdown jadi cepat sih karena kan yang punya smack V-nya, jadi dia maju terlalu depan, dibuka ulti, ngapain? Kena langsung tangkap. Ya, nice one. Nice game. Ya, asik sih. Oh iya, buat kalian yang belum tahu nih, kalau misalkan ini Sawerianya aku buka media share ya. Jadi, ya. Tolong kirimnya kalau misalkan donate ngidupin media share, tolong hati-hati.
I think the HP was 900 or a little over 1,000.
Untuk media share-nya dari 10.000 aja kok.
So he couldn't actually use the smite preemptively to try and steal it away from Nova Esports. Everything was just in line there of Nova Esports. So really thumbs up for this team. Landing the
bagus
first
rapi
goal
banget
in the series. And this is the thing about
gila. Aku bener-bener nggak jujur nggak expect aku Longnya bakal dapat bener-bener jadi turning point-nya si Nova kan. Di turning point itu ternyata bisa langsung di end game karena memang posisinya mereka mati cuma satu kalau nggak salah tadi, jadi mereka bener-bener bisa langsung ngebot karena memang core-nya selamat ya, core-nya selamat, terus ada bantuan hit dari gini juga dari Kazik.
From our players that we've seen from that game, the nerves of steel that Long had. He went in, leaped in, didn't even care that they're there because of the confidence, and this is the reason why he's the top jungler that we have on this tournament, and also has the nerves, has the experience from last year, and that's why he's this good at playing the game. And I hope to see a lot more. That was such a great play, and because they lost one player, that was enough to end the game there.
It's just so beautiful. I actually want to see the replay of that last fight because it was just so good.
Ya, aku betul replaynya apa sih sebenarnya yang benar-benar jadi game changernya dari Warnya, karena aku udah ngerasa sendiri kayak ini bakal udah kena sih, mereka udah bakal nggak bisa ngapain sih, mereka bakal mati itu, tapi ternyata nggak, mereka malah nge-turning the game, turning the point karena
taken the Elder Dragon in the first few minutes, the moment it actually spawned up, and those hesitation on the push on the top side and the mid allowed Nova Esports to actually have that enough level of security and safety for them to actually be able to go towards the Elder Dragon to check.
Tuh, lihat
and
ini ya.
also clear up the waves in the mid lane and the top lane. Kudos on Easy as well. You know, that Karen matchup against the Jacks, I was nervous for him, but they actually did a really good job.
ini yang
one thing to for
ini
sure
musim gede
during
banget.
that game, I haven't seen.
Dream
I
Base cuma
haven't
kayak
seen sometimes for Anran to actually
udah
lock
bisa
during the whole
karena
time.
memang nggak legend banget dia di sana
Is
tadi.
honestly the
Kayak
reason
bola
why
balik
they
dia
were
ketangkap
able to hold off
di
on
awal,
the
jadi
game.
mereka
So,
duitnya agak susah.
one of the things that I want to point out is KG didn't have time to shine. KG didn't have time to. He had all the time in the world to actually go in for this fight, but because the script is what they wanted to do, let KG go top lane. Once Yiza is out of the picture, the Martian Justice is not ready. So that was what KBG is looking for. But one of the things, the reason why they lost there is the Ton is not confident on his smite. If he was confident enough with his smite, he could have took the risk of having a 50-50 with Long. But you know what? It's Long we're talking about. And
Yeah,
when it comes to Long, you know you're gonna lose the smite battle. But I hoped that they could have took the risk there, because if they're gonna lose because of that anyway, might as well did that earlier.
Siap-siap masuk.
Especially if
Wah, mungkin
they intend to go into a fight and just use the Elder Dragon as a bait. They could have just went in full on against Nova Esports, especially that they did have numbers advantage in the first few seconds of that fight. It was really unfortunate with very, very minor mistakes in that instance, but overall we saw more stability towards Nova Esports, in which thumbs up to them. I also want to point out the confidence of Long. I believe he will be the
ini kalau udah kayak gini berarti memang besok-besok sih. Ya, besok-besok kita santai saja berarti kita mainnya. Ya, berarti streamingnya 1 jam dari apa yang dirilis sama gini sih. Kayak Long, jelas banget ini Long gitu, bener-bener MVP. Istilahnya bagus banget dari tadi. Naga pertama apa naga kedua tadi di steal. Itu yang benar-benar turning point-nya dari leader Eldernya tadi. Dia langsung kayak dia dapat langsung turning di
for Nova Esports.
Yep. All I can say though is that if I have an honorable mention during that game, it is gonna go to Yami. Yami is the reason why we are able to get the win there. And without Yami taking a kill on Anran, or at least getting the Justice Punch on Anran, that was not gonna be possible for Nova Esports to actually do that. But again, this is just our first game, everybody. First game, I'm already sweating on this first game. But again, everybody, we're just gonna be taking a short break. We're gonna be back in just a bit.
Ya, langsung masuk istirahat lagi. Udah, berarti kita nunggu lagi. Istirahat. Nunggu masuk kedua. Yang mana-mana kita balik. Oke, ternyata udah masuk langsung ke game ya. Pas tadi lagi gini, nama lagi ada keluar lagi. Salah. Langsung draft dari kedua tim. Sudah mulai keluar. Band picknya sudah keluar. Udah band pertama dari gini masih band Zoe, Atrox sama Kamil masih di band, masih belum dilepasin sama KBG di sini. Terus ke atas dan sama Fiora untuk dari Nova. Oh, mereka masih PD ya, masih PD dengan remake pakai gitu, pakai senanya tadi. Emang senanya cukup annoying tadi, berapa kali tadi ultinya cukup mengganggu. Akalinya sekarang diambil sama. Tapi di sini Yuninya lepas yang bakal dipick sama dari KBG.
Where's Nova?
Nautilus lagi dari untuk
Not even the Akali is gonna be a problem here for this Yone later on. The reason why they picked this up is because they lost a bit of the jungle picks that we should have already available for KBG, but because the Yone has been banned, there's still not a lot of choices here for the side of KBG. But now that it's available, they should be taking that. They are just sacrificing Andron's pick here. Almost all of the champions here that Andron has been picking is gonna be banned. I hope they ban the Gwen or the last ban here for Nova, because there's a lot of players on KBG that they use the Gwen.
Oh yeah, definitely. If Nova will be allowing Gwen to materialize here, then KBG for sure will take
Wukong
Garennya
sekarang di ban.
the choice
Wukongnya Nova.
instead.
Mereka nggak mau ngambil
the
KBG
banning phase here of
buat ngambil.
Well, they have 16 seconds still remaining to decide. I think a Gwen would be a really good ban. They stick with the Garen for the meantime. KBG, I think they're gonna up their aggression in this game. Yeah, scaling is still
Rivennya tadi pakai sama Anrang.
but they're ditching out the
Atau sih
Jax
gimana?
this time. They want AoE damage.
Masalah
burst,
dari unit
and
itu
a
bisa dilariin ke
guaranteed
jungle.
CC as well being layered.
Anrang sih di
towards
mid,
Nova
jadi
Esports.
kemungkinan
Good
besar
response
mungkin bisa
on side of
jungle-nya
Nova
mungkin
Esports.
masuk.
Give them Riven,
Oh,
Marathon being
oh,
pretty top tier pick
kau
to
pick,
counter it out.
kamu ngepick Riven, saya
And
pick
what I like about the Renekton,
Renekton di sini.
thinking about it, the Renekton is good against the Riven, good against Akali. It's such a good pick here for the second phase of the picks for the side of Nova Esports, because they took down two things at the same time. So this is really smart. But now, taking a look at what's going to happen, Jace is also going to be picked up for their side, probably going to be on the jungle for side of Nova Esports on the hands of Long again. Only disadvantage is not as flexible as what they had a while ago, which was the Kha'Zix, who can actually go for those big risks that they did a while ago. But on the last pick, we're going to be having a Vi. Vi is not even the problem there a while ago for the side of KBG. That's why they're just doubling down on this Vi pick that they had. So with this, with the composition that has been drawn, I think Vi is still gonna be a really good thing, just because they could just take down the backline. Couple
Dan Fai lagi. Fai sama
for the cease and desist and
Kha'Zix
find a way to kill people.
picknya mostly masih sama ya, kecuali cuma ada pertukaran kayak dari tim KBG di sini ada ngambil Yone sama Riven, sedangkan dari tim Nova di sini cuma ada perbedaan dari Renekton sama tadi satu perubahannya sih nggak banyak.
In the WRL 2022 season 2, but also in the Who the Legend Cup 2023 season 3. And this is one of the things that actually has been the key here for Keep Best Gaming. Utmost aggression and very synergized movements across the map, acting as a unit and not leaving any space for their enemy. This time, despite Nova Esports adapting a little bit in their lineup, the threat still remains in a much bigger sense here against them.
On the bigger stages, this is what happens, especially when you're on stage compared to what has happened for KBG. This is one of the things that they need to think about moving forward here. Nova Esports is a threat. It is always going to be a constant threat against their side. Right now, rotations has already happened. KBG putting two players on the top side already, and they know that this could be a problem here. This Akali that they have right now, and it is gonna be something to look forward to, because this Akali for the side right here Nova is just not gonna be having the best day.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm really excited for this. And look at the matchups actually. It is gonna be Neon using the Renekton in the mid lane, and Yize. Ooh, actually nice dodge on the dredge line. Being still safe here in the top lane. Sneaking away against them.
Having a fighter is not really very advantageous for the team here. I do take a look at that. The more that they move forward here, Nova Esports losing a bit on the early game is okay. But right now, let's take a look at the biggest things here. For Nova Esports, what they want to do is just to survive this early stages of the game. Doesn't have a lot of things to go for in the late game. But now, even with Long right here, it's just going to be happy with their Kha'Zix time and time again. This is the damage that they're looking for. The confidence is just going to build up. As long as you got the early pop-off on a Kha'Zix pick, it's okay to pick it the second time around, because it's the same. It's basically the same lineup for KBJ.
Yeah, and they're playing it really pretty slow so far here. I think they're just waiting for Datan to scale up and reach level 5 so that they can actually fully commit into those dives and pin down that one champion to be their victim. And it will take time. I mean, right now, Datan is level 5, just going for a reset and probably work his way up towards the bottom lane where KG is actually sitting by. Eyes on Ooh later on, especially that he is gonna be looking forward to following up with the buys engage. And Nova Esports still with the almost same lineup. I think they're just gonna be avoiding fights here on, especially right now that a while ago they have suffered a bit of mistakes in the first few minutes of the game. KG actually being threatened.
Yeah, as always,
nice.
This is gonna be the weak side of the map.
Flash in here.
Taunt
Dark,
will
nice.
out the Valor. KG
But
is gonna get
first
told
blood
down
for
to the
Nova.
first blood for the side of Nova
Scat.
Esports.
Clean
Cepat sekali.
execution, Long and remake the moment that they got the crowd control.
Flash sama dasnya cepat sekali.
KG. And that signals a big win already here by Nova Esports. Now on the bot side once again. Ooh, we'll just have to flash away.
Yeah, Nova Esports Yami is always going to be a key player here for the side of Nova Esports, and that's one of the things that I really like. This supports popping off. The supports just making this phase of the game just really hard to work.
Ooh. And yeah.
And with that, on this early side of the game for ABG, It's gonna wait for Yu to actually play around this, and I like the fact that they always rotate Yu to.
Ini
just
jadi
go to the
kayak
side of the
sampai
lane
dari
where
Nautilus
you're
di
having
sini
the
harus
most disadvantage
harus nemenin
on.
gini sih, sampai harus
The
nemenin
problem here
Riven,
is
tapi di
leaving a Ziggs
atas
on in the following
akalinya
matchup. I think if ever
ya
they get
Ziggs
a
di sini
chance
udah
here,
secara nggak
it's
langsung
gonna
udah
be easy
ditemenin
on
sama
the side
Fleet.
of Nova
Ini
Esports.
sudah bayang-bayangin gerakan dari Ziggs di sini, jadi mereka kayaknya
Nova
akalinya nggak
Esports
berani
is
terlalu
playing
banyak.
it slow for the meantime. They're happy
Karena
with the
dia
kills that they
kemungkinan
got
besar udah
already
tahu.
from KG in the bottom lane with a good execution coming in from from Yami, Remake, and Long. And now we're just waiting for that 5-minute mark to maybe get the Rift Herald or maybe focus again on the Dragon, because that helped them so much in their scaling a while ago. And Long with his execution, with his skill set.
Tapi misalkan kalau kayak gini terus ya tetap sih Nova lagi yang bisa menang, kalau misalkan apalagi kalau misalkan Longnya bisa sengeri
But in this sense,
di game sebelumnya,
given the lineup, the change and the
Pasti.
champions here
Pas
of
mereka ngecek.
KBG with the Riven and the Yoni, I think it's gonna be much more challenging compared to a while ago with the Akali and the Jax, the double scaling ones. Because this time they can actually contest heavily here because of the lineup of KBG.
Yeah, they're still trying to contest this for the side right now of KBG, and the only problem here for this next objective that we're gonna have for Ocean Drake is that they do have a lot of damage, a lot of CC, but not enough just yet for the side of KBG. Nova Esports still can make this work, because remember, they do have Long available for them, so it's gonna be easy enough for them to actually do that, especially with the Kha'Zix in their lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and right now, the Kha'Zix of Long will
perebutan
be
Dragon pertama langsung buka aja intinya.
Dude, that charge Long is gonna die here.
Benar-benar
That's
Long
a good
ini
chance
mereka
for
memang
KBG.
benar-benar harus ngejar
Starting
Longnya
off
sih,
in
karena
the
Longnya
Ocean
mereka
might be
mereka
able to
respect
open
benar
pretty easily.
sama Kha'Zixnya Long tadi yang kita tahu sendiri. Kha'Zixnya Long di sini nggak pernah langsung aja maju ke arah depan, tapi di sini Renanteng juga harus mati. Terus langsung dibuka 5 lawan 3 di sini, posisi yang nggak bagus bagi tim Nova. Di sini Nova harus mundur dari ini dan ya harus mati. Satu lagi dah hanya tersisa Remake bakal mundur dengan
And that's 4 kills on the board for KBG.
Oh, such good execution coming in from KBG.
udah kacak-acak banget sih, gara-gara Longnya mati, jadi benar-benar mereka nggak bisa ngekontes.
That they do possess, and quickly they have taken control of that fight.
Oh, ini kayaknya mau dikontes lagi. Ya, tahu posisinya. Yakin aku war lagi nih. Long hanya sisa 20% di situ. Oh, nice one, nice mati. Oh, Renektonnya kuat banget di sana. 1 lawan 3 di sana, tapi dia berhasil selamat malah. Terus dari tim KBG di sini, respect balik. Gila, UI-nya mau keren banget anjir. Herald kebuka kayak gitu jadinya. Herald kebuka langsung ada mata-matanya gitu, kayak pembulunya Herald. Apa itu tolong UI-nya ini tolong diaplikasikan, saya juga mau. Berat ya, gara-gara Longnya mati. Simpelnya gara-gara Long. Oh, harus ada mati lagi. Kalinya ya mati. Kalinya mati. Pack sama Yone-nya di sana yang mulai scaling udah.
Nova Esports, especially with one member down already, but KBG, they're just eyeing on punishing and keep on punishing that succeeding mistakes of Nova Esports. The fact that they still committed onto the Dragon was already a big deal for KBG's win.
Udah jebol di arah bawah. Buat apa bakal cuma 700 belum terlalu jauh, karena memang ada beberapa pertukaran yang cukup menguntungkan bagi tim Nova tadi, bagi tim KBG gitu.
KBG's macro is just so good. Calling this top lane getting taken down is really smart for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nova Esports, they can just stall it out for the meantime. We did see in the previous game, from the 10-minute mark towards the
ini mereka juga harus mulai mikirin cara nge-end game secepat mungkin sih. Kalau nggak gitu ya kemungkinan besar kayak tadi sih, nanti bisa kacau, meskipun ya tanpa Elder juga tetap bisa kacau sih, gara-gara senanya nanti semakin dekat semakin sakit.
and just made the right move at the right time. Now things are actually looking really okay, despite the bad instances, the bad fights that they took early. The gold is actually dead even against KBG, and they can actually just keep this up.
Mundur jaga jarak,
Since they
ada
still
5
possess
dan 4
that
orang di
infinite
sini dari
scaling
tim
on the
KBG
set.
ulas maju
Need
joninya.
to be very
Yep,
careful.
no
The fight
objectives
is
just
sold.
yet. Arnan gonna go in with the knock up. But with KBG just stopping themselves for a bit there. And this is just gonna be good. Because objectives are still not available right now. That's why this is not a fight that
Oh,
Nova even
turret di
now
atas sudah
will take.
mau dijebolin sama tim Nova. Makanya mereka sampai gerak ke atas. Tapi di sisi lain ternyata Riven kita lihat di bawah lagi jebolin turret di arah bawah.
And KBG just not giving an inch towards each other. Not to be as proactive as ever. And
Ulti dibuka,
good job here
langsung kena ke arah Kha'Zix. Karena Kha'Zixnya yang di sini di lock sama tim KBG. Mereka nggak mau benar-benar sampai long itu sampai main seenak udel kayak tadi.
That KBG is getting across the map will accumulate more and more. Since a while ago they took down the tier 1 tower in the top lane, now bottom lane, that leaves the mid lane very, very vulnerable. And with the side towers taken already by KBG, that negates so much vision in the jungle camps of Long. So maybe KBG can position a little deeper right now to set up a play against Nova Esports, and with the lineup that they have again and again, it's much more possible compared to the Jax and the Akali champions that they have picked up earlier.
Yeah, and this is going to be the struggle here for the team. I do hope that they find an answer
Tengahnya bakal
moving
dibikin
forward
bisa
here
biar
for
nggak
the
jebol sama
side
sekali.
of KBG, because right now, even if they win the other fight a while ago, they might lose on the damage department later on. As long as Anran doesn't have the third item, it could be a problem. But right now, KBG starting already with the Rip Herald, and with what we're seeing from
Herald
Nova,
langsung diambil
they
aja
are
sekarang sama KBG.
Yeah,
Karena
they
Dragon
want the
detik
dragon
lagi mbak.
instead of
Kali
the
ini
Rip, but
bakal
now
dikontes.
they might actually lose both because
Oh,
Rip
enggak.
spawned in the mid
Ini
lane to
dilepas sama
threaten
Heraldnya ya.
Nova
Ini
Esports.
agak susah nih.
It is
Pertaruhannya
a
susah nih.
dragon,
Pertaruhannya
a
berat
lot
banget ini.
is,
Turret atau ngambil
trickier
Dragon.
than the mountain dragon, but still KBG can
Oh,
contest, and
posisi
they are
persiapan
starting
untuk
up
gini.
against them.
Yeah. So
Long,
that has been
long,
used
long.
already, Nova. Look at this. They're
Long,
hiding
langsung
the
bersiap.
Drake on their
They're
dagger. They
entrance.
might be able to
Jagain.
take this
Dar.
pretty easily. Even has the hero centers to use,
Okay.
but they're losing a bit of HP. They are gonna come back, and that's
Mundur,
gonna be
ulti dari kena arena
and
Nekton
that
langsung
is gonna
mundur,
be
nggak bisa
Long's gonna be
ngapain
backing
mereka.
away. But look at this too. They're gonna die.
Gara-gara Heraldnya itu
Just got
jadi
what they want.
pecah formasi mereka.
Yeah, but it was very unfortunate. The Drake resetted and it stalled, Nova Esports in taking it down. Fortunately, they were still able to get it, but now at the cost of another casualty. In KBG, they did not let those objectives just slip up and not go unpunished. They get the kill, they reset, they got the tower in the mid lane, and still having control of this game, in which Nova Esports should be very, very cautious of.
Udah bener-bener
Once you get the
yang
three
membaca
towers,
pergerakan
you
dari
pretty much
tim
have the
ini.
map for yourself already.
Langsung-
This is the
langsung
most unfortunate case.
bisa.
But 10 HP, I believe, was the
Enaknya betul.
distance between them getting the dragon and it being
Enaknya
delayed
betul.
for 2 seconds.
Yeah. And now with that start for KBG, I really do
Saya
love
juga
to
sih
see
sebenarnya.
this. What's happening right now for them is that they are just using this terrain. This what I like about the Ocean Rip is that they can make use of this to go for big fights with Anran on the helm, just going soul unbound and going for very sneaky knockouts, very sneaky CCs. And this is going to be a disadvantage overall for Nova. Yes, they have Long. There's a lot of places that Long can hide on, but it's also a big advantage, a Yone pick of all, just because they can go for engages from very long distances.
Yeah, and that's
Pak,
that's
5 orang dari Nova udah bersiap maju ke arah depan, tapi lawan 4 orang karena Ravennya di sini bergerak ke arah bawah untuk coba melakukan push dari KG.
KBG being threatened though a lot.
Ke arah tengah
Especially
membantu
with
pergerakan
Oaks
dari
present
timnya.
here on the side of Nova Esports. Long a while ago they had the Corki, but now given that it's a Renekton, so it's more on the all-in actually here on Nova Esports with the Renekton and with the Akali that they do possess. So far they're doing a really good job, still very similar situation here against KBG. A lot better actually since they are getting the dragons,
Mereka ada salah satu
but now maintaining a lower amount
ke
of gold
setengah darah
against
itu mereka bakal
KBG. Now they're checking the Baron. Spawning Shadow. Ooh.
Satu
What I'm afraid of is Anron's
hilang, Nova yang bakal
capabilities of just taking down anybody inside of Nova Esports. So that's why I'm kind of scared. The longer this game goes, the bigger of a threat that Yone is going to be for the side of KBG. Nova Esports doesn't have that big late game insurance compared to KBG. So they even have Jalma. So that's just something to be afraid of here for the side of Nova Esports. The longer this game goes, the bigger threat it is. So KBG is just looking for their insurance here. Yami
sampai bakar flash dong, gila tuh. Posisinya Yami sampai harus bakar flash dong. Bang bagus itu terlalu maksa tadi mau terlewat 1 menit dia lewat arah satunya tadi. Demi scouting sampai flashnya harus dibakar kayak gitu.
This topside river, because they know KBG can just take this Baron down in a very short manner, especially with the Yone with the ribbon.
Dar, ulti nice kena 2 orang, wah gila. Dar, kalinya sama gini yang kesusahan guys sekarang gara-gara Yone. Yone-nya bener-bener annoying gila. Langsung dibuka stasis dari kedua tim di sini. Ya langsung mati aja dari Galio-nya, nggak bisa ngapain, bener-bener udah kayak sampai udah game. Udah gas.
Divide and conquer, that's the goal here of KBG. Once you get 2 people, at least you can actually split them apart. Now they have good position towards this top side. We have full vision as well established, preventing Nova Esports from interfering.
Nice.
Here they go.
Nice. Kalinya lebih bergerak. Kalinya boleh gerak. Gunanya kalinya mati.
Onrun is just there to actually fight him out. He's gonna lose the fight, but it's still not enough. Nova Esports still has a chance to actually conquer this. KBG, the Ton, is afraid of what's gonna happen. TV's coming out. A lot of members are low HP.
Nggak mau nih, harus dikejar balik.
Nova Esports with a bait on the one side. He is gonna fall down really fast.
Mati, nice.
That's Nova Esports.
Masih mundur lagi.
That's gonna be the turnaround coming in.
Deathnya flashing dapat ke 1 orang. Pakai ulti. Menahan 1 orang. Yone-nya berhasil selamat dong. Yone-nya masih berhasil selamat di sini. Ya kayak gitu.
Such a nail-biting fight there by Nova Esports against
Gila.
KBG. So many hesitations were done there on the side of Nova Esports, but when Long got into the mix, he's the one that didn't back down. He's the one that didn't hesitate, and everyone just banked on him, supporting him from his back, allowing them to not only prevent KBG from getting the battle, but also getting a couple of kills. Now, they're on the Dragon. It is going to be very tanky.
Dragon 3 lawan 2 di sini, Heron bisa dar.
They're gonna be holding their hands and they still have the magic. It's gonna be pushed away.
Yone-nya nice. Yone-nya mati akhirnya. Gede banget 1000 cuy.
And that's gonna be next shutdown goal.
1000 bounty-nya dong.
Another shutdown on the hand. This armor is just gonna get shattered on the hands of Nova.
Wah, tarik lagi duitnya lagi sama tim Nova sini. Oh, beda cuma 600 lagi sekarang udah.
Broken down. The gold lead diminished to 0. Nova Esports is now taking control, and for the first time ever, KBG are now in the mix, now are in the back end of this fight. Despite their composition being heavily aggressive, it's just the discipline here of Nova Esports, the timing, and everyone just banking on Long. Now they're starting Baron.
Yeah, Neon now low in HP, was pushed back, does have the vision on this side of the map. They can go for the steal here, the Ton is gonna go in, was able to take down one, he's still alive, they might be able to take this long, it's just taking down.
Baronnya, tapi harus balik, 5 orang, harus balik, kalau nggak gitu mereka gini banget,
He has been knocked off,
He's
he's dead, but they still have the Baron buff on their hands.
5 lawan 2 Baron. 5 lawan 2 Baron, paling nggak ini 1 turret ini jebol nih. Paling nggak 1 turret ini.
Might be okay, but KBG
kalau nggak ada minion, jebol ini.
mid lane right
They can
now.
end this.
Maybe get this inhibitor as well. Yeah, long death time.
They can
is
end
it.
Nova Esports.
Iya di end. Ini kayaknya langsung di end. Oh nggak, masih ada minion cepet. Nggak, kayaknya mereka nggak kuat. Kayaknya nggak kuat. Dar, nggak bisa. Game. Oh nggak. Nggak masih selamat. Gila. Gila. Masih cuma gara-gara stasis sama minion kebal sama Baron, mereka nggak bisa nge-end.
here in this replay, we saw the struggle that Nova Esports actually had, especially with Yize getting taken down pretty early, but Long still just holding on onto that Baron, making sure they secure it. And yeah, they do, but they get taken down. 3 people, in fact, got killed under the hands of
Tarik lagi duitnya
KBG,
lagi sama.
allowing them to bash 2 towers in the mid lane and
Jadi
almost ended the
giftnya
game.
jadi 2K balik. Bolak-balik tarik kayak gitu terus.
Being
Emang
so good at
BB
holding
ini
it.
nggak bisa dianggap.
Really great at holding off this game. I thought that they might be able to end it, but
Ini
because what they did
penentuannya.
was they
Elder
cleared the
udah.
minion waves. Once they cleared the minion waves, there's no chance
Elder
for
penentuannya.
KBG to actually finish that off.
Tapi
That
kok
risk
aku agak
that
ragu
Long
ya.
took was really worth it because of the Baron that they took down, because of the time that they got there, because of that Baron take. That gave them enough time for them to go for this next fight. Yes, they lost the mid lane turret, but they can still survive. This is gonna be another long game.
Kok aku
because
ragu
here comes the Elder
bisa kayak
Dragon.
tadi ya, karena long sendiri yang bener-bener bakal di
Here comes the dance.
lockdown
Here comes
sama
the battle between
anggota
these
tim
two
KBG
teams.
di sini.
Who will trip first? Who will engage first? Will it be KBG or Nova? I think it's going to be the same, strategy here by Nova, since they do have pokes present with Long and Remake. Maybe they can just try to stall things out. KBG are being threatened with a split push coming in.
Stalling lagi kayak tadi 3-4 menit di depan Elder sambil lihat-lihatan.
Nova Esports has vision here, and the pit. And given the last time that what happened to them last time with this Elder Dragon dance, I don't think that KBG should actually be forcing out Nova Esports again.
Reneknya nggak kuat loh.
Yeah. If
Ini
they're
Rivennya
fighting
Riven
this
push,
again,
dia bawa
they should
Hull
go
Breaker
for a
soalnya.
fight. Amron is available, so if ever they're gonna go for a fight, just wait
Jadi
for
benar-benar
Amron
mesti hati-hati
to
sih kalau
actually
gitu jebol lagi turretnya mereka.
solve this for them.
Jadi kan
Amron just
karena
farm
tengah
out the
itu udah
knockouts,
jebol,
go
jadi mereka
solo
harus
down,
nahan di tengah.
push
Tapi karena
back
posisinya ada
long,
di tengah, jadi posisinya nggak terlalu jauh sama Dragon, jadi lebih cepat dia bisa nge-backup sih. Oh, udah ketahuan posisinya, pergerakan mereka udah nge-start. Tapi di reset lagi. Reset lagi. Di atas Renektonnya masih gelut sama Riven, tapi kayaknya yang kesusahan malah Renektonnya di sini.
KG and Yize as well. Whoever wins it at a 1v1 in the Baron lane will signal a big swing towards the
Oh,
Elder
enggak,
Dragon
mereka
fight.
ngambil Baron.
Such big
Ya.
impact for sure.
Mereka masih mengambil
Baron
Elder.
as well is available.
Baron.
Oh, good job there by
Di objektif
Daphne
paling
to
besar mereka.
secure that Skeleton Crab for vision and for movement speed as well. Nova Esports
tidak dibuka.
gonna be, threatened much more. Dawning Shadow just used to check on Baron in case that Yize and in case that KG and Andran are taking it up for themselves. But actually, a sneaky Baron by Andran and
Berdua doang. Sneaky Baron ini. Sneaky Baron, nggak ketahuan posisinya. Nggak ketahuan. Bakal free nih.
Getting this Baron is pretty important for them and is going to be forcing the members of Nova to actually be
Ya,
afraid.
mereka nggak tahu.
After that, getting this
Dar,
Baron is
yes,
important.
mereka nggak tahu.
They take it. So Wiz,
Mereka nggak tahu kalau misalkan mereka lagi ngelakuin Baron. Ini masalahnya bakal makin susah sih bagi Nian buat ke nahan pushnya dari sini.
for Nova Esports, because the push is much better for KBG. They have the buff as well, the additional stats from the Baron. So if even Yize will have a hard time against KG now.
Sebenarnya Nova ini butuh Elder, sedangkan dari gini sebenarnya ini udah cukup Baron. Baronnya sendiri tuh kita lihat udah mulai efek buff Baronnya udah mulai ngeharus dari turret. Di sini posisi berbahaya dari Renektonnya kaginya ada di sini, ada stasis, dan sepertinya kaginya di sini juga. Kaginya selamat turretnya jatuh. Eldernya dapatnya si Nova dan ya jebol. Wah, gila dijebolin. Buff Baronnya ngaco. Buff Baronnya ganggu banget.
okay, yeah, that was such a great fight that we've seen
Gila,
right there.
Ternyata
Props to
mereka memang udah tahu, mereka cuma butuh sebenarnya kemungkinan besar mereka butuh buff Baron. Begitu mereka bakal buff Baron, mereka tuh sebenarnya cuma pada ganggu pergerakan dari tim Nova di area Dragon itu supaya mereka nggak bisa ngelakuin dragon cepat terus melakukan backup, jadi mereka cuma kayak datang gangguin mereka mati sebenarnya nggak masalah. Jadi Rivennya benar-benar maju ke sana terus ada dibantu tadi sama Nautilus maju ke arah depan, jadi end the game. Kalau nggak gitu ya, dan kalau nggak gitu bakal bisa dibalikin sih.
And brilliant
Tapi memang gara-gara
by
ininya sih,
KBG.
di Baronnya tuh jadi
With,
bener-bener
Andran and Yu,
bener-bener bisa mereka jadi bisa nge-push banget jadi.
themselves allowed such a
Dan
big
ya,
leverage
skornya jadi 1-1
against
untuk
Nova
kedua tim.
Esports.
Satu lagi
And
untuk penentuan
in this
siapa
split
yang bakal
as, KBG
dapat poin
went on very
pertama di
easily,
game
confident
pertama ini,
against Neon.
hari
Despite
pertama
everything
WRL
that
Asia tahun 2023 ini.
Andran was already in the mid lane, just focus on the
Ya,
goal
sambil
lane
nunggu
so they can
persiapan,
just end
gua
the
bakal
game.
istirahat bentar.
And they did. Now they have a chance
Kurang lebih ada istirahat sekitar 5-10 menit
a
sampai
reverse
bertemu sebentar.
against Nova Esports and prevent them from reigning on the first instance against KBG.
Dan ya, ternyata sudah masuk ke game lagi. Game terakhir antara KBG melawan Nova. Game pertama ini dan dimana masih 1-1 untuk KBG. Bandnya masih sama, we Atrox dan Camel, sedangkan dari sisi Nova masih standnya masih backband, tapi Gragasnya kali ini ya kalinya di band mereka nggak mau. Terus Sena lagi di AP. Graga Yone-nya sekarang yang kemungkinan bakal di pick. Garennya udah di pick sama KBG.
The side of Nova, but KBG, yep, that is what was left open. Having the Z on the hands of Andran, that is something to be afraid of, especially when you have a very squishy target like a Senna on your side, and even a Yone on your side. There's gonna be a problem later on for the side of Nova Esports.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen in this game. KBG is still going with utmost aggression. We might actually see Andran's Z now, given his impeccable performance in this champion. I believe this is one of his best champion as well. I mean, it is a 50-50 in an instance because Z kind of falls off a little bit in or loses effectivity in the late game if the enemy does possess a high amount of sustain or durability. That's something that Nova Esports possess right now with the Senna, with the Gragas, and they have really good damage as well present with the Yone so far. So with the last bans, Nautilus, Vi, Gwen, and the Wukong, I think both of these teams are preventing any early game pressure. Especially with the champion picks. Vi is a really good ban, but KBG responding by taking one that has been very consistent at the side of Long, the Kazakhs pick.
Yeah, the Kazakhs has always been a pick that we've seen from Nova Esports, but now that they're turning things around, I think a Rhythm, yes, is not a really bad pick for Nova. Jace could also potentially be a pick here for Nova Esports for them to deal a lot more damage if they want to burst down KBG as fast as they could. So I'm really looking towards those picks, if ever they're gonna go for that. But there's still a Renekton that is available. I was about to say, because Renekton is a good counter for the Z in the mid lane, and the reason why you want that to
Renekton
happen
lagi. Renektonnya mereka masih pede dengan Renektonnya tadi yang ya memang tadi mereka ada sampai 1 lawan 3. Renektonnya masih kuat. Karena Rivennya yang sekarang lagi diambil sama mereka, gak mau ngasih tantrang. Udah tahu knowingnya kayak apa, tapi tetap ini aku yakin Garennya ini bakal full breaker, tapi enggak antara Garen atau enggak gini. Ini kemungkinan mereka bisa main 2-2 speaker. Jadi yang fight itu bisa cuma 2-3. Siapa si Kazik? Kaziknya sekarang KBG antara Kazik sama Brownnya bakal war. Lagi 2 itu bakal masuk ke lane lain. Sendiri-sendiri mereka yang bakal melakukan itu bisa juga annoying.
Equally aggressive and very scary to be against. But when you have the Braum, you have that extra assurance that maybe you can prevent them from fully bursting people out.
Yeah, and that's what you want to happen though. Whenever you have a Gragas, a Braum is always going to be a good pick, because whenever you put up the wall, you could just counter the explosive cast completely. And that's why it's really hard to fight against this Braum whenever you have an explosive gas available, because that could throw off the place that you want to make.
Ini memang kalau misalkan Gragas yang kayak gini sama tergantung gini sih sebenarnya. Braumnya counter
care for
Bisa ngeblok
KBG.
ini nggak?
So that's something to look forward to. Considering that they have backlines and Nova, that's a good target. That's a meaty targets that we have right there for the side of KBG.
And what might be the final game? I mean, it is the final game in this series, and we are about to determine who is gonna come on top. Will it be KBG or Nova? Of course, if you're a fan of these teams, make sure to let us know in the comment section in both of our live streams. Of course, these teams would really,
Ada.
really appreciate it. Like what you mentioned, the strong suit of Renekton against Zed is present. Nova Esports are using
Ya,
instead here so far.
ini
Having a bit of
Liman.
combination.
Oh, mereka coba gini sih, bang invasi, coba bikin
Take some
biar
video
nggak
down on the top
biar mereka
side
sekarat banget sih dari
of that
tim
game.
Kingnya Jungle.
Yeah, something needs to take place here. With
Yeah,
Nova
like-
Esports just wanting to go for and try to just pressure out this lanes that we have, it's very smart for them to actually take down those Raptors, because once they take that down, that gives them a bit of an advantage on the early stages, because that Kha'Zix is not gonna hit.
Yami cuma one di sini.
So that's what they want to do.
Yaminya dilepas sendiri, Yaminya dikasih farming.
Not get an advantage against this Yone.
Ya sebenarnya ya memang
That is the goal. I mean,
remake
along with
remake
the
hitungannya di
actual
early game
Kha'Zix,
masuk
who's
support
very
hitungannya.
efficient in his clearing and positioning, especially on the fights, and that's something that Datum should be trying to possess as well in this game. And nobody else knows it. I mean, he's very capable of using this champion, so they're trying to prevent any sort of resource that he can actually get to match the clearing of the jungle here of Long. And well, Kha'Zix
Ini longnya pakai
jungle
pakai
camp very very fast. And I think it's going to be very important for Nova Esports to stand in slowing him down.
belum kelihatan sih
Yeah,
ini
it's
bakal
pretty
kayak
fast
gimana.
though, especially for the Kha'Zix to make sure that this is gonna be a hard lane. That's the reason why whenever the Yone gets big, the Kha'Zix gets big on both sides, because Kha'Zix just gains a little bit more compared to this on the side of Nova, which is why the taunt is not level 5. I think if you take a look at where Long is, he's level 5 already, which is a big advantage on a Kha'Zix matchup.
And that's very important here. I mean, Nova Esports being very efficient in the first few minutes of the game. We do see them possessing very aggressive champions, but this is the thing. We're not seeing them, being very aggressive so far. I think they might be just be waiting for the 5-minute mark, since that's the time where they can actually
Ini
be
jadinya nggak
much
cuma bisa
better
harus saja tapi nggak bisa
grouping
terlalu
up
ngasih
against
pressure
KBG.
gede sih karena memang karena lawannya Renekton
Because KBG can turn the tides
masih
around
cukup kuat
when given the chance to do
lawan
so.
Harassingnya.
Especially with the
Six ini sama jadinya dari tadi nggak diganti-ganti.
threatening into the back line, but who knows? Nova Esports just wants to play this slow in the early game.
Now with that talk,
Aras tapi gagasnya nggak bisa dianggap remeh, game-nya malah lebih sakit Arasiga dari
take advantage
Gragasnya.
of the early game with their champions, the Kha'Zix and the Zed. As long as they got the first objective, they're gonna be the ones who have the advantage here. So this is gonna be something or a challenge right now for Nova Esports. Are they gonna be able to do the same thing that the team was able to do a while ago? So that's gonna be something to look forward to, and I'm excited
Mas
to see
nggak bisa
honestly
ngapa
what they're gonna do here.
ya, dilempar aja coba digangguin kalinya.
Catching
Oh tapi ya kalinya udah siap, kalinya udah datang. Oh ternyata nggak berani siap.
Knockbox can
Pak
happen
kali
in Nova
Ivan.
Esports, even with Neon having the
Tadi gara-gara sama-sama pakai gitu.
it's not gonna be really set and done kill for them. So this is gonna be really hard moving forward right now. So Nova Esports, what they want to do is set up the lane and where Zed is, because when you have a Zed on those team fights, they can just take down whoever they want to and faster than everybody else. So that's gonna be the challenge here. How are they gonna be making
Langsung
sure that
rivalnya
Neon is not
rivalnya
gonna
berhasil selamat.
stay here? Flash
Ya
out
harus
and
doang sih
Neon
nggak bisa mati.
is on a disadvantage of
Oh,
this objective.
misalkan dia dari gini nggak ada ulti.
Yeah, and timing on the key ultimates as well. And Nova Esports, given some of their ultis are on cooldown, KBD does have leverage now, and setting up position for this dragon fight. I mean, it's a mountain dragon, so it would take some time. But given the Kazakhs pick that they do possess,
Dragon tuker sih kayak ya, tuker objektif sih, tapi ya Novanya sedikit agak jauh, nggak bisa ngasih gini ya. Jadi ya bakal tukar nana. Herald di awal kayak aku bilang tadi, Herald di awal tuh harganya mahal karena memang nggak shutdownnya memang agak susah karena memang sih itemnya belum banyak.
KBG has always been taking down towers against Nova Esports every time, so that's why Nova Esports are just gonna be taking this win for themselves.
Garanya, selamat. Hampir gila, ada lagi dikit sekitar 25% itu.
But again, back to my point, they just want to get that first tower in order for them to get that easy gold infusion to themselves.
Yeah, and KBG just wants a stall for now. I mean, they are respecting the three aggressive champions that Nova Esports possess. They just want to scale up and make some room actually for the power spikes to happen for Xiaoma, for Anran, and for Datan.
Di atasnya agak bertahan sih gara-gara satu sama-sama ini satu tipe ini Renekton agresif banget.
And the Kazakh, and even the Mega Inferno one present with the Ziggs. So despite them being not being on the really good end,
bisa dapat step
the champions selected and picked up, they have angles that they can actually take in this game. It's not as linear as Nova Esports, but it is as equally effective if given the room to do so.
Yeah, given the right chances. Look at this. What they want to do here for Nova Esports is just get the game as slow as you can get. The slower the game is, the better it is for us, because they do have a lot of champions that can go for the late game, or at least I could say it's gonna be the Yone. That's gonna be the late game insurance here. The KBG might have problems there in the late game because the Kazakhs and the Z.
Ini kalau kayak gini sih agak ya benar sih. Kayak kata casternya kalau kayak gini terus susah sih. KBG kalau ditarik late game, KBG-nya malah jebol. Mereka punya 2 insurance untuk late game.
I'm scary though.
Insurance late game ada 2, tapi mereka punya game plan itu state push nggak bisa dibuat. State push yang kuat.
Has a lot of sustain in the line. They have good disengage tools with
pasti salah satu saya yang beli Breaker, yakin aku dari tim KBG karena mereka memang dari tadi game plan-nya adalah main speed pushing. Kemungkinan besar bisa jadi ini Z-nya
on the Z and on the Mega Inferno Bomb damage of Xiaoma. If they don't get that one pick off, it's already a big deal for the
biar si gamenya deadnya nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain.
Nova Esports is to try and sustain and then follow through with the team fight. If they can out sustain KBG, then they will have no reservations at all.
Maju ke depan 2 lawan 3 di sini, remake-nya langsung mundur pakai skill 3-nya, langsung mundur ke arah belakang, tapi di sini langsung kena ulti, langsung dia bakal langsung mati. Itu aja langsung balik dia. Langsung ke posisi R-nya. Dan posisi ultinya, bayangan ultinya.
But a lot of effort actually just to get one kill. That is the thing that
banyak itu berapa skill udah dibuka tuh. Cuma dapat 1 kill doang, nggak gini. Ya mau nggak mau sih, tapi pergerakan dari KBG kalau nggak gitu mereka yang bakal ke panis di arah belakang, di arah late game.
And Nova Esports will have that in mind, that if they group up, then there will be hesitations on KBG. Now as we check the replay,
2 ulti.
Really good timing, especially with
2 ulti di commit cuma buat bunuh 1 Riven. Biar nggak late game-nya mereka benar-benar ke panis ya, kayak itu solusinya.
Still a clean execution coming from KBG.
KBG nggak bisa main sebebas kayak tadi gara-gara memang ini yang draftnya langsung maju, langsung mundur. Sama-sama cabut. Cara kedua. Cara kedua dual yang jagain 3 lawan 4 3 lawan 4 Renetonya maju ke arah depan. Yone-nya gila sakit. Maju ke arah depan Riven ya. Riven. Nah udah masih Justice langsung mundur ke arah belakang tapi masih bisa selamat. Renetonya gila.
wants to go for more, and Nova Esports wants to take them down, but they do
Worth
have
it
low
banget.
HP, so they're gonna be
Herald
back.
dapat, Gidi dapat.
Such good timing actually there. Coming from Datun, getting the steal on the Herald, and having to deny that from Nova Esports is really good timing because now they can use it in the mid lane to pressure Nova Esports even more.
Enggak,
And
Bester.
as we see the patterns emerging
enggak.
outside of Nova,
Ini yang terdapat.
they even
Oh,
bought that tower in the mid lane.
PBG yang berhasil nge-steal tuh, nggak lihat tadi.
The patterns of them
PBG yang berhasil
despite
nge-steal ternyata.
ditching the dragon and
PBG
going
nya
for
nge-steal. Ini tukar satu champion ya, worth it ya, worth it gak worth it sebenarnya. Karena nggak jebol juga, jebol nggak sih? Jebol. Dar, mundur ke arah belakang. Dar, karena ada masih self mati gragasnya, kagak sukanya masih belum ada ulti tadi. Masih liatin, masih belum ngapain.
They're still not done with the fight. They're still juggling towards what they are gonna do, but KBG can start this whenever.
Udah mulai dilihat itu rematch darahnya tipis. Cek posisinya berapa?
No soul inbound though.
Ini agak susah sih, agak susah 4 lawan 5 soalnya. Sadar ulti, gak bisa ngapain. Misalnya lumayan. Ada telenya udah datang. Nice. Dapat satu karakter ke arah gitu. Nice. Nice, deadnya mati. Deadnya mati.
Yami got in the mix as well. It was so unfortunate, not expected by KBG. And as we check on this replay, they were trying to chase Neon. Yeezy was holding the fort. When they used the Dawning Shadow,
Kena Sun. Dar, gila bagus banget. Flash loncatnya bagus banget. Flash skill satunya sampai kayak gitu.
And that fight allowed them to now not only possess the Ocean Drake, but now even possess a 5,000 gold lead against KBG.
Yeah, they got the gold lead. This is a first that we've seen that they gained the advantage against a team like this. 2 towers are down for the side of KBG. And this is not what you want to happen when you have an early game composition on your side. This is not what you want to happen. And Nova Esports are just taking clear. They're confident. They have nerves of steel, and they're just powering through this mid game.
Powering through indeed, and powering up as the minute goes by. Since Remake still possesses Senna, so late game ensured.
Senanya udah kuat sih.
Opportunity.
Ini udah makin kesini, udah makin nggak bisa dianggap remeh ini udah Nova nih. Tim komposisinya udah makin nggak bisa dianggap remeh ini.
Because these champions are very item dependent. The Zed, the Kazakhs, and even the Ziggs. If Nova Esports are ahead in gold, they're going to be able to buy those items that can make them much more durable towards those burst damage from KBG. And we see them having the confidence slowly building up towards the side. Now we will be seeing them contesting those dragons even better in the next upcoming fights.
Let's see what's going to happen on this next fight. They stop for a bit here for the side of KBG. They're not looking for any fights just yet right now, and they are wanting to go for more on the next one. So let's see what's going to happen for this next one. Baron is going to be on the ice. The Ton is now low in HP. Knock up from long to get the kill.
Deadnya mati lagi. Maju ke arah depan. Langsung di pressure ini KBG nggak bisa ngapain. Jungle-nya mati dong. Dar. Pressure kok. Pressure ada kayak biar kabur. Biar kabur nggak bisa ngapain. Gara-gara jungle-nya hilang, tapi di sini Baronnya bakal diambil. Karena udah mereka targetnya adalah Baron. Dar, kena satu. Traumnya masih mati. Enggak. Ada status masih ada status kelas.
Yeah, but still they're feeling the pressure now. Nova Esports has full control of every single situation. The gold lead still keeps on rising up towards their favor. Every minute goes by. And this is the problem with the composition now. KBG, they're feeling it as well. No one can go in. No one can check the bushes. Maybe a KG. Maybe Yu. But if they do, they're still putting up a risk of being bursted down and being utilized as a stepping stone for Nova Esports to get towards the back line. And we saw it in this Baron fight earlier, and we can see it again as the time just goes by here.
Eh?
In KBG, I think they just... I'm trying to see an angle that they can actually take here. Maybe an assassination towards Long, if they do find them being isolated. But I think that's the only way they can actually take down Nova Esports. As well as maybe taking down Remake. Because so far, in all of the 3 games we have seen them battle against KBG, Remake has been very, very safe in the back line.
Iya.
All
Betul,
being
betul.
protected by their front
Ya,
lines.
remake dari tadi posisinya selalu safe di belakang. Dia benar-benar bisa dapat berapa kali dapat free hit, meskipun berapa kali kena tangkap yang pas tadi kayak di game kedua dari ketangkap kanannya dia sama Nautilus. Benar-benar cost the game itu.
Pretty great for the side of KBG. I do hope that they will be able to come back from this, but looking at how the game progresses, it's gonna be easy enough for Nova to actually just use this in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just a few seconds away from seeing the Infernal Dragon spawn up. And Nova Esports, they haven't ditched. They started this game ditching the Dragon, given the respect towards KBG's early game advantage.
No.
But now, since they're the ones who have the advantage, they can just start it off. They're
Langsung
very
dia,
safe in
langsung
this
diambil
matter.
cepat sih,
And even
cepat
see
sih.
the respect of KBG just giving this entirely. That is how big of a gap is present right now with the situation here of both of these teams. Yeah, they do trade it off for a tower, but that's not much of a big deal here for Nova Esports. They can just give it away since they have this.
Kan benar. Pasti salah satu itu ada yang beli Hullbreaker dan ya caranya beli Hullbreaker. Ini nggak tahu sih, ini Z-nya nggak dipakai split pushing. Ini sebenarnya mereka split pushing juga susah sih karena mereka posisinya mereka bukan posisi yang menang di sini. Kalau misalkan mereka posisi menang, mereka bisa lebih enak split pushingnya di sini.
It's not gonna be a problem for you guys to just slow it down, let them just make mistakes, wait for them to do something, wait for them to step a little bit more forward, and that could be a chance for Nova to just pounce on them whenever they have a chance.
Let's see if KBG can turn the tides around. We talked about change before the game number 3 started, and Nova Esports made the necessary call and made the necessary adjustments to take on KBG. KBG made some change as well, but so far it's not looking good for them. The double assassins, and that's trying to get this Kazakhs from Long.
Ini benar-benar biar nyakitin remake doang. Ini makanya dua assassin agak sulit. Oh, kena maju. Nice. Dia masuk Injustice-nya. Nggak bisa ngapain. Dia masih Injustice sudah berhasil mancing satu ulti gede itu. Renektor aja di sisi lain ternyata ngelakuin push dia ngelakuin split push.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Mundur. Nah, itu ngapain nggak terlalu gini mereka karena Demasian Justice Demasian Justice udah nggak ada, belum ada untuk gini. Mereka belum terlalu takut banget sih untuk sekarang. Mereka berusaha mancing harassing sama berusaha untuk mancing warship. Itu provokasi buat mereka mancing buat ya mancing buat kekalahan.
In a particular side. But now, as we do see Nova Esports focusing on grouping up and not really sending anyone to split push on the other side, that gives some breathing room and time here for KBG to actually recover some of the gold. Yeah, we're seeing Nova Esports still having the gold lead, building up towards 10,000 right now, but KBG is still being able to get some resource, and that's the most important thing. As long as they get the burst towards the crucial members of Nova Esports, then they will have the fighting chance. It's up to the timing the
Masih
positioning and also the target selection here.
masih gini sih, masih nonton-nontonan sih.
Because their goal is to cripple Nova
Karena memang
Esports.
dari KBG-nya sini nggak bisa ngelakuin banyak hal sih. Mereka cuma bisa ngelakuin defensif, nunggu ada pick, dan di sini Renetonnya maju di arah atas, satu lawan Garen, Garennya di dalam posisi ya, Garennya bakal mati sih, tapi ulti langsung dibuka, stasis udah dibuka, wah langsung dibuka ulti. Elder juga udah up, ini langsung mundur aja dari anggota tim KBG, tapi coba lagi seluruh Renetonnya. Sedangkan di sisi lain kita lihat di sini, oh Deadnya sudah bersiap di arah bus di sana, siap untuk melakukan healing. Posisi nggak ketahuan. Dar. Dar. Reset. Oh, Deadnya nggak bisa ngapain. Deadnya gara-gara gini, gara-gara mereka ngejar romnya duluan, mereka jadi nggak bener. Deadnya sampai jadi nggak bisa ngapain. Ulti langsung dibuka di sini, tapi Renetonnya masih one-to-one, tapi Renetonnya masih kuat sih. Ini stasis sudah dibuka, tuh kena perut di situ. Stasis juga udah dibuka dan sepertinya bakal mati begitu aja. Dari Deadnya di situ, ya Deadnya bakal mati. Stevennya juga bakal war, dan sedangkan Reneton di sini udah dengan ultinya langsung maju satu lawan satu melawan Garen, tapi di sini ada pergerakan maju ke arah depan yang masih Justice nggak bisa bunuh, langsung mundur. Oh, masih ada Dragon buff di situ, ada Elder buff Dragon, dan ya bakal jadi game buat Nova 2-1 buat Nova. Gila, Renetonnya benar-benar jadi sampai mereka nggak bisa ngapain situ. Terus ya remake-nya ngaco gitu, remake-nya ngaco.
The tournament as well. Nova Esports having a better read, better adjustment as well, and in that last Elder Dragon fight, we saw how pristine this team is in analyzing their opponent and how they are actually even able to respond.
Itulah game pertama antara Nova Esports melawan KBG, yang dimana orang mengekspek bahwa KBG yang bakal memenangkan game match pertama pada hari ini. Ternyata enggak. Nova Esports masih strong, the world champion masih strong di situ. Dan ya kita bakal istirahat dulu, kita bakal balik lagi harusnya sebentar lagi kalau misalkan kalau nggak ada kegiatan sih, kalau nggak ada gini kita lanjut sih. Memang aku sendiri doang, jadi nggak ada yang benar-benar ini ada panggilan harus
of those assassins that they have in composition, but because it is in a composition, they don't
itu pada hari
targets.
itu dulu kita bakal istirahat untuk lanjut di match kedua antara di lawan siapa?
Even a fourth item, he has a lot more items than the Kazakhs, and that's why
lawan
such a big loss for the Taunt in the end. Right there, it was just a slow burn at the
jangan kemana-mana, kita bakal balik lagi kurang lebih harusnya sekitar 15 menit 20 menit kita bakal balik lagi kita rest sebentar.
I think the game duration has been from very long, extremely long, 27. In this series against one of the best, if not the best team in the CN conference, taking them
Kita udah masuk nih, nah, udah cuma masalahnya ini nggak masuk di rosternya nggak. jadi rosternya. Ini jadi rosternya bakal ini host mereka sendiri. Nah, mungkin ada satu lah, kita nggak bisa tahu. Cuma masalahnya adalah aku harus end stream sekarang karena memang kebetulan aku ada kebetulan masalah acara mendadak. Dan besok kita bakal lanjut lagi di jam 5 UITA, berarti jam 4 WIB. Jam 4 WIB 16.00 kita besok bakal lanjutin untuk nonton WRL Asia hari kedua. Besok sih harusnya ada temen sih, harusnya ya, itu berdasarkan pennya harusnya ada teman, cuma ada besok harusnya mostly bisa full kayaknya. Alas, jadi semuanya yang udah nonton, yang semuanya udah stay tune, sorry harus selesai sekarang, terus stream sekarang memang karena keperluan. Dan berjumpa, dadah.